Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. At least, I hope it's, I hope things are... Yeah, there we go. Okay. Things are just not updating as per usual. Shit's busted. So, gotta fix it. I don't... How do things get so broken? What is going on? Alright, hold up. Okay, alright, our chat's working, but our view counter isn't. Alright.
Is it ever?
That's super annoying. So I'm gonna fix it. Come on. Oh, widgets. View counter. Why you break? Why you break? Stop breaking. There we go. Fixed it. We're good. Hey, Cody, thank you for joining us tonight. All right. So you guys can hear everything, all right, right? Darkon Miki, please say something.
Oh, I can check the stream if you need cross-check.
Yeah, I'm just checking my levels in OBS.
Loud noises, quiet noises. That's good.
All right, Miki, go ahead and say something.
Loud noises. I think that's the only volume I'm capable of.
It's all good. All right, you're both where you need to be.
Awesome. So now that we got the levels put out, you need to say the obligatory thing that everyone says, even though it's a boring start to everything. Go.
What?
What?
How does every person ever start a conversation when they see someone for the first time in a day?
Hey, how are you?
How was your day?
Oh, that's what you.
So, I have specifically avoided telling you how my day was because I was waiting for the stream, so I shall wait.
Right. Well, I hope everyone's having a good day, because apparently Darkon's got some stories.
Are we ready?
So, I will wait for the cue.
How was your day, Darkon?
My boss threw a frog at me.
That's not strange.
Like a frog, or like
Yes,
a toad frog?
Frog. My boss threw a frog at me.
Okay, turn Miki up a little bit. Gotcha. Or I would
I'll
if
just
fucking
remember
Discord
you
would let
asked
me.
for this.
Peace. Hey, thank
So I
you
have the
very
best
much,
boss
Lohem.
ever.
Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you very much.
Wait, they can still do that?
Yeah, no, we have super chat up, but not a donation goal.
Oh.
Okay, Miki, say something real quick.
Hi.
Okay. Say a few sentences just to make sure people can, let us know if she needs to be turned up at all, guys.
This is a few sentences, and I can't think of anything. I'm getting ice cream, and I'm really excited, because I don't get ice cream very often. I'm very particular about ice cream, so I only like one kind, maybe sometimes two. It depends.
Thank you, Miki. Very dark on of you.
Excellent. Just found something relevant, I guess.
All right. Yeah, you could have just gushed about Macro for a few sentences.
No, that's coming.
Oh, it's coming.
I mean,
So,
you
know,
don't gotta call me out like that, damn.
I didn't. Marak did.
You ain't gotta call me out like that, damn.
But, so... Huh. I'm actually having trouble coming up with a topic.
Wow.
Damn it, I blew the frog too early.
So, okay, why do you throw a frog at you?
That is a
Because he
really
found a frog.
good question.
Hey, I got his name right for the first time! Alright!
But all I'm saying is, when I find a frog, my first initial thought is not, I should pick this up. I should throw it at my coworker. My employee, more specifically. This is sound logic.
That was his immediate first reaction to do.
So where did the frog hit you?
Ew.
I may have actually instinctively dodged it. I almost did like a Superman dive, jump out of the way. I was like, oh,
You've been playing too much
it looked
Monster
like
Hunter, man.
It looked more like a lizard to me than a frog at first.
You've been playing too much Monster Hunter. You're having Vietnam flashbacks of the paralyzed frogs flying at you.
Oh god. It was kind of yellow too. I was avoiding paralysis. Monster Hunter trained me well.
Oh, that's great.
It looked more like a lizard to me when it was in midair, though. I didn't know it was a frog until he told me. I was not really looking at it. I was currently evading.
Well, there you go. And Marak, no, I don't think she's actively looking at chat.
I am not. There is something else that I kind of have to actively look at during these streams, and I have yet to splurge for a second monitor to keep chat up.
So, let me think. Bless you.
Kind of making so extra fluffy.
So what else has been happening recently? Things have been happening, but it's kind of just like work.
Well, yeah, it's been work. We've been making some lot of progress on
Did you?
not just the art side of Czech, but the story side.
It's not there anymore, but did you get to read the part where I ran out of time and we got to the last job site of the day? Did you get to
Yes.
read when I
Yes.
added the first extra?
Yes.
So that was me just going, I need placeholder text. What would be funny?
So are you typing that on your phone?
Yes. So one of the reasons that you never got to see this a lot of the time was I do that very often, but I could only originally get it to work if it was my drive. But through a lot of finagling, looking up and Googling things, I finally found a way to get my phone to do a Google Doc while on the shared drive. It took a lot of effort to get that to work, but I finally can do the proper drive, and you'll be able to see my stuff.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you always wondered why I was so adamant on everything's on my drive until it was done, it was purely because in the past, I could not access it on my phone if it was the shared drive. So I fixed that. I now know what to do to make that work.
Okay.
So yeah, for whatever reason, when I woke up this morning, I had a breakthrough for the first immediate picture and go, hey, that'll get people's brains going for 5 seconds. Now I just have to retain the attention.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't get a chance to show it to you before we started, Miki, but I wish I would have. We working on the hook for the first chapter.
Yeah, the prologue.
I see.
It's certainly attention grabbing.
It's very unfinished and unclean right now. So
I mean, that's okay.
I'm glad you didn't show her because it's not presentable yet.
Fair enough. Hey, Empire, thank you for joining us.
I was reading anyways in the last little throws there, trying to catch up as much on this. Cause it's not just that I have a moderate deadline to read it, but also because I'm so close to being finished, and how there's always that gripping, dramatic piece at the end of every story that is just killing me.
Yep.
So,
but you haven't answered the question, so I have to keep reading.
Right.
And
exactly.
That's the prologue. The
So,
prologue has one of those.
Chad says, love what you guys do. Y'all take care. I'm not sure if he just popped in to say that and then is leaving. I'm not really sure. Chad, are you still with us?
So as you can see on screen, this character's name is New Canvas.
Oh shit.
We'll get there. Someday we'll get there.
Hello, Juan. Thank you for joining us. Darkon, would you like to give? Oh.
You do know that until I fix that, it's actually gonna have to be uploaded to the drive as Muffin Boy. Oh, that's great.
It's Fluffy Boy, not Muffin Boy.
Oh, it's an F. Okay, sorry. It looked like an M with pixels.
That, while would be very interesting, not sure where that would come in.
Muffin button.
Everything is wrong with Darkon, Juan. We've been over this. But
wow, you had to say it live.
Anyway, Darkon, would you like to give a summary of Macro?
Alright. So a lot of the other characters in Czech are people that, if not immediately, will eventually be going into more combat role styles of action and suspense and whatnot. So now we're moving to the very, like, the support cast in the real life terms. There we go. Macro is he's the tech guy. He's Quantum Root's official tech guy. He makes all the cool things happen. He makes certain, to be blunt, story hand waves happen that the story would not work if these conditions were not real.
Yep. He's
So
sort of
he's-
our...
Oh.
He sort of helps us move the plot along when it gets to points where it's like, but given this stuff, there's no way they'd be able to operate given the current settings of things. Well, we have Macro. Fuck off.
Yeah. So yeah, Macro is on one part a vector. As a story writer, Macro is a vector to allow me to explain or explain away a lot of the really complicated technical stuff that I had to research but would be way too long to explain in the story. And also just science tech stuff in general on why does X work or not work or whatever. So yeah, we're definitely going from the characters that are characters and have things to welcome to the rest of the cast. Someone has to like fly the spaceship so that nobody dies, that type of stuff. Oh my god, he's a bridge bunny.
What?
Oh, he is, and he's fluffy too. No.
What did you say?
So he's a bridge bunny.
Oh.
So in every single thing ever that involves ships or spaceships, especially in mecha, the support crew flying the ship are almost all female, all teenagers, and all pretty. That's just a thing that anime has just decreed. If the people flying the ship are guys, there's a very extreme reason for it. The default is to just make them all women.
Okay.
So, Macro is a bridge bunny. He is in the background and pretty, and does all the tech things that are boring that the story doesn't want to get into detail to.
So, Chad, it's been a long time. We've never actually had a real Chad in the chat. So this is you get the honor of being the first. Also, Carl says, I swear if Macro is a descendant of Leonardo da Vinci, it's funny you mentioned that.
Alright, so thing number 2. His parents are dumb.
No, his father is dumb.
Okay.
Yep. You know, his father wanted Macro to be super smart. And he's like, well, the name, a name makes the man, right? So he legally changed their last name to Da Vinci, not realizing that Da Vinci literally means of Venice, from Venice.
Yeah.
So Leonardo da Vinci isn't even really his last name in that context. It's just I'm from Venice. That's what that means. So Macro, he's just like, yeah, no, my dad's a fucking idiot. Jim Sauce, thank you very much for the $20. Oh, that was a donation. That wasn't a super chat. Thank you very much.
Well,
I mean, we don't currently have any open donations, but it's appreciated nonetheless. Maybe girls pilot the craft in anime because it's all about the shipping. Bad pun aside, y'all are still great. Thank you very much, Jim.
Yeah, for those who are astute and know a lot about our work, you'll realize, wait, Da Vinci is one word for him. And then everyone's head starts fuming, going, that's wrong. Did you guys spell it wrong? No, we didn't spell it wrong. We didn't. His dad did. And now he's stuck with it.
Yep. So, yeah, Macro has a disdain for his father, because his father a big old dipshit. And, he's also, with the exception of Lily, the youngest member of Quantum Roots. Although,
Wait a minute, how old is he?
Could you really classify Lily as a member of Quantum Roots?
No. I think this is really important. How old is he?
Hold up. I've got his actual age written down. Give me just a second while I pull it up. I don't remember the exact age, but he is the youngest.
Uh-oh. Do you have to suddenly go delete a lot of things you've done in the background?
No, thankfully not, but I'll
He's
certainly
16.
have to change my view.
He's 16.
No.
You ruined it.
He can be cute from afar.
Yep.
You ruined it.
Oh
I thought he was at least 18.
Nope. Macro is 16.
no! Nope.
When
That's
did we
a
decide
big,
that?
big fucking nope.
I'm very confident in one of your prior streams you stated that anyone outside of Lily was legal. Damn.
I'm sorry, say again, Darkon?
I thought you said in one of our prior streams that everyone outside of Lily was legal. Damn, Ripperoni's that idea.
He's legal in Japan.
Oh,
That ain't,
okay.
That ain't where we are.
That's where the story's based.
That's not where he's based.
Hey, he's based in Japan, i.e., he's legal.
That's not where I'm based.
welcome to law.
Stop it. Japan's a place, and so is jail. So stop it.
But yeah, so that's macro fluffy
you
boy.
You were so worried about Lily, you forgot about the Shota.
Actually, you know what? I'm thinking 17 instead of 16.
That is still.
Well, no, the
That's
reason
right,
being
okay,
is
yeah.
so that way he's 18 by a certain point in the story that is necessary.
It's not going to be necessary. It's going to be time moves on. Whether
No, but he needs.
I have a birthday today. It doesn't overly matter. It doesn't change anything. But I have a birthday because welcome to facts. That would actually be kind of profound. On like that could be a thing. That could just be like, why? Who cares? Wham! I'm 1 year older. Wham! Whatever. And then Lily gets all uppity about it, going, well, "It matters. It does." There you go. You've just made a new scene.
Yep, there we go.
So what do you do with a person who's not legal at the start of the story but legal later? What are the rules for that one?
Somebody. I don't know. I don't know.
So you're not allowed to ship him until episode whatchamacallit? If you don't watch the episode, he's still 17.
Dude, alright, first of all,
How does this work?
First of all, people ship the fucking My Hero kids every day of the fucking week, and they don't.
Hey,
and no one bats a
we're
fucking
talking
eye.
about people
So
like that. No. I'm gonna cut you off right there. We're talking about doing this the proper way. People are going to be weird. Then that's on them, and I am going to put those people in their own box.
yeah, Macro will be 18 or 19 before the end of the series, and that's a very specific term there, because you know, once, so you've got the end, but then you have the end after the end.
Yeah, he's also definitely going to be 18 before. We need a new code name for Arc 2, but yeah, that.
He's going to be 18 before
then.
Arc 2.
So we're
that's
talking
what I
before
was saying, is he needs to be
halfway
18
point.
before then.
Sorry, go ahead. I stepped on you hard, or I dropped hard.
He needs to be 18 before Arc 2. I was agreeing with you.
Okay.
Well, he can be cute from over
Why
there
Why
until
are you putting hairs on this? We're not. Miki needs to know if Luke yes, no.
Okay, all right. Hey, hold on. I don't really do that. I mean, if you pay me to do that, I'll do that. But on my own time, I don't do that. There's no concerns there. But I am an upstanding citizen. Thank you.
You'll understand come Sunday.
I know exactly what you were laughing at. I am an upstanding citizen. I don't ship my hero characters. It's gross.
He's not wrong, but I hate that compromise as well.
I know. You said you're not wrong, but they also hate that compromise. Be gone with this. I'm done.
So, alright, actually, you know what? On the topic of ships, based on the characters that have been shown thus far, what are some of y'all's headcanon ships?
You had to get the cannons firing, man.
That's disgusting.
What?
You're
Yeah, get in line, bro. Get in line. Darkon was first.
You know what? You know what? 6 ships? Cannon. The other cannon.
Empire, I have them
that's not even
saved to watch later. I haven't gotten a chance to watch them yet.
And that's not even my joke. That's Little Karibo's joke.
Tetra is...
To be blunt, every single... Apparently, outside of... Eventually, Macro, the rest, and Lily, because of course, the rest of the cast is legal, if that's what you're worried about.
Yeah. Eventually, Macro gets... states legal. And then the rest of the cast, with the exception of Lily, are legal.
So, I don't know if I can actually, like, you kind of said that to the chat, and that's a good thing, because I don't think I can answer that question. If I make calls...
Yeah, no, that wasn't directed at you,
may not be
Darkon.
indicative of the actual product.
Yeah, that wasn't directed
so
at you.
I'm not gonna go with that.
Because you and I know what the outcomes of everything.
Like, if we're doing shipping in that regard, then it's going to be like extras or somebody that's like, but we're chapter like 7. Didn't he die in chapter 5? Yeah, what about it? I'm only going with the obviously can't happen safe routes. And that's a service to you guys because no spoilers. You're welcome.
Yeah, we're playing things very close to the chest. Like, Miki's our artist, and she doesn't know the spoilers yet.
Not that you can hide anything about ships from me. I know all.
You know, it's funny you say that. Because I'm pretty sure we already have.
No, I don't know how to word this, and this is going to come out bad until you understand the meaning. Not a ship, but a tugboat? Everyone to Lily. Everyone likes Lily.
I mean,
I couldn't come up with like I was like, what's a name for a tiny ship? And I'm like, I couldn't come up with anything.
A schooner?
A skiff.
I think we've already established.
Oh look, it's a schooner! You dumb
Canoe.
bastard. It's a
Doesn't like
sailboat.
me.
I don't do ships, but I do canoes.
Oh, canoe, there you go.
I hate the English language.
Little canoodling. Got a little canoodle going.
Oh man. No, I'm picturing if any of you have seen Mallrats, where the dude's standing in front of the sailboat picture trying to see it, and this kid walks and goes, oh look, it's a schooner, and he goes, you dumb bastard. Fucking called it against the dumb bastard.
What?
Yeah.
You have to find that. What?
Yeah, I'll find it for you, bud. Just hang tight.
Ah, baggy pants.
What was it?
Oh, you poor dumb bastard.
No.
Not you dumb bastard. Here you go.
Oh. No, he says you dumb bastard, but then like there's another
Yeah,
one.
you poor dumb bastard.
I'm gonna do my best here, and if somebody recognizes this, I'll be very proud. Don't one of you guys say a damn thing.
Okay.
About the thing. You can say other damn things.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. This stream was gonna get really boring really quick.
You know what? There is no Easter Bunny. What is that guy's problem?
he spends the whole movie sitting in front of that picture trying to see the sailboat, and he just can't do it.
Oh, is this like the blue, black, gold, white dress thing or something? Okay.
No, you've never seen those pictures where like if you squint your eyes and look at it weird, a picture shows up?
I was
Yeah,
literally
that's what I meant.
just looking at those yesterday.
That's why I was saying. That's why I was saying. Is it like that or is it like the
No.
other style? It's the other style.
Yeah.
Life
yeah.
is
There's
weird.
I've only actually really ever seen one that I actually saw the picture from, and that's because I cheated. I looked at it on my phone and I just physically walked away from my phone until I saw it. And then I realized, oh, that's just Michael Jackson's face. That's cool. That was years ago. That was high school.
Probably not, Juan. It's one of those things where like it would have to be a movie where we had all seen it, and it would just be us just kind of shitting on the movie.
You would also have to pick a movie that wouldn't get you in trouble for broadcasting if you're doing it.
Yeah, probably not.
I have one. And like you don't have to shit on her or anything.
Yeah,
It's
we
just
did think about
a
it.
really interesting
It just
movie.
wasn't.
The first Transformers movie. I've always wanted to watch that movie. The very first one from 1986.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait, are we talking about the Shia LaBeouf one?
No, the first ever Transformers movie, the 1986 one.
I mean,
Transformers,
Shia
the
LaBeouf
movie.
one isn't bad.
Yeah, see, we actually had planned to do something like that once.
Yeah, actually, Cody was the one who pitched the idea. It was
It
gonna
was
be
gonna be like Fat Dog Theater.
no, it was gonna be called Fat Dog Cinema.
Oh, that.
Yep, it was an idea. I looked into it. I tested some stuff, and the copyright behind it was just such a nightmare. I just didn't want to fuck with it.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking like the only thing that could probably work would be a movie that's that old, like I talked about. And then even then, you don't know.
Oh,
That sounded painful.
it was very painful.
Whoops. I lost my color.
His shoe looks like it's having a bad day. Look!
It looks so sad!
It looks so sad! Look at that!
Please tell me that was on
Oh, Paul, don't be sad.
I wish I could say it was.
Excuse me, Paul.
Hey, Cerberus, thank you for joining us.
Speaking of copyright,
But why though? They're not. It's not even the
I
English. It's all
cannot-
Japanese.
cannot believe this.
Why would they do that?
If we can't have this, no one can.
No, it's not that they can't have it. It's just that they don't want to do it. They realized it was straight up fucking porn. So like.
I can't say it, but I have a way to put it in chat without things exploding. The same way that I found out.
Okay.
So,
I mean, you can literally
gonna-
type it in chat and you're a modder, you won't get flagged.
Oh, I'm talking about like demonetization and then YouTube algorithms.
Yeah, but the thing in chat, whereas
No,
yeah, see,
chat can have weird stuff. There's been people who've actually gotten banned across all of Google from YouTube chat.
that's fucking
So
Automation's been up to some
I'm
fun
playing
shit.
this safe. If you don't know what that means, then you're too young to know what that means, and don't look it up.
They're going to look it up now.
yeah, that's good.
That's how young minds work.
That is their problem.
Well, I'm just saying that's how young minds work. You tell them not to do something, they do it anyway.
So actually, you know, speaking
And now
of,
they're gonna find out the hard way.
speaking
And now
of,
oh, they'll find out the hard way. Already.
so Miki, how are you at drawing bare feet?
Me?
Oh.
Oh.
No. What is this? The show feet meme?
No,
Okay.
because Molly is that would be
Right.
her mode of dress.
Yep.
You know, she's just walking around in, you know, the bare essentials. That does not include shoes.
This was
This
after.
was recent.
Yeah, this is recent. Yeah, it's like
this
well,
is all very
we
short
still-
notice,
Hold on.
kind of.
Say again, Miki?
Ooh, that was weird. This is all very short notice request, but does this answer your question?
Yeah. I was just kind of curious because I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Molly probably isn't gonna wear any shoes.
he's
unless
not picking
Oh,
his nose.
Pause.
It does kind of look like he is picking his nose.
No, it doesn't. He's covering his
Uh-oh.
face with his shirt and his hand. I know what he's
How-
doing.
how-
He's doing the
How
same
much
shit
robot?
I do.
All the robot. No, pause. Robot. Oh, that's bad.
Who went robot?
Keep talking, Anthony.
You're the one going robotic.
I hear Dark on fine. Y'all are
No,
robotic.
you're
Oh,
robotic.
ye-
Everything's robotic. Nice.
One moment, checking Discord. Discord down. Current problems outages. Oh, status. Oh yeah, something happened with Discord. Everything just went spiked for a second.
Okay. I know. 18.
How are we talking now? La 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 la.
Sounds good to
I'm
me.
still hearing you just fine, and
Yep.
yeah, I can hear Anthony fine now too.
All right.
Okay.
So whatever happened, it passed.
But yeah, he's not picking his nose. He's just hiding his face with his shirt, like what I do sometimes.
Yep. He realizes.
He's a shy boy. Look at him. Now he's just my son. Now you know, first it was, oh, he's hot. Now it's, well, he's my son now. I had to change my feelings real fucking quick.
Yeah, tell me about it. I know how you feel.
Like, I didn't know that he was 8 or fucking 16. I thought they were all, like, I thought he was in his early 20s.
No,
Bro, he
that's.
You
Damn
said
crap.
20. The last time we talked about him.
No, I never said
He's
20.
the original definition of trap. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah,
I don't know-
that was
I don't know
definitely
who
a
said
fucking
it looked
trap
like
you
he was
put
picking
us
his
in.
nose, but I
You
hope
trapped
that
us.
helped.
Wait, we have to use the new lingo terms. He's jailbait.
Yeah, he is jailbait.
It's not exactly
I'm good.
what I would call a new term.
There we go. Yeah, there, because now you can see his nose, so it doesn't look like he's like wiping his nose with his shirt or anything now.
I
so.
mean, I feel like he would do that.
No, I don't.
Probably wouldn't give
No.
too
Nah,
much
no,
of a
come
shit
on
if
now.
something got on it. But I don't
Everyone
see
at least
purposefully
does
dirtying
this every now
himself.
and again. Like, you can't tell me they don't. I wipe my nose with my shirt all the time.
So I can't decide when we open auditions for Macro if I want a British or an Italian accent.
British.
We could almost
British.
ask for both or something.
Feed my. Wait.
Would you say what languages?
British.
Yeah,
or
I
Italian?
was just saying, like, open it for both, and then we could hear it, see whichever sounds better, like live.
Can
But,
I do like a
why
very
British?
determining point
Why
on
British?
which we go with?
Canadian accent? No.
No.
I'd say Irish or British, actually.
You know, Irish. I'm kind of leaning more towards the Irish, actually. Now that I think about it, because
Damn, he got some Irish-filled eyelashes going on.
I'm thinking Irish.
It went too long.
I'm thinking kind of like a light Irish accent. Not like
What
not not like fucking what's that guy? Top of the morning to you. That
Oh, you're talking about fucking
Jacksepticeye.
Jacksepticeye.
yeah, not like him.
Top of the morning to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish that you could hear the accent that a coworker of mine has, that one of my colleagues from Ireland, because he is like the epitome of what I would want for Macro as an Irish accent.
Could you get him to record into your phone at some point just to say hi?
Huh? I mean, well, first of all, he's in Ireland, so probably not.
Oh.
Second of all, I'm not entirely sure how I would go about asking this business colleague, hey, yeah, I just really thought your voice was like perfect for this character.
Well, yeah, you could say, listen, one of my employers is, you know, they're making something and it's kind of an Irish character, and you know, they're looking for the good accent, and I feel like your accent is perfect for it, so I'd love to use it as an example.
Oh my god, he's a shy boy. He'd be so embarrassed.
See, it fits. Macro's a shy boy.
Yeah, he's a shy boy too. Yeah. I don't think we would make someone like fluent Italian, because then they would be not speaking.
Yeah.
They would need subtitles.
Yeah, but Chibi loves cute things. It's not just shy things.
I love anything that makes me go, aw, that's cute. Like, that's adorable.
Explains the
Even if it's like ugly to Anthony, like
the fat, ugly ass
Sphinx cat.
Sphinx cat.
No, they're so cute.
Oh my god.
Like, they're so cute and wrinkly. I love them. I love them so much.
Fucking.
I wish we could have one.
Sphinx
I
cats
would,
are so goddamn
I
ugly.
would name him Lord Beerus, and you know I would.
Actually, there's somebody in the anime community who has a Sphinx cat named Lord Beerus that they carry around conventions dressed as Lord Beerus.
Aww.
Yeah,
But it's
I've seen
precious.
pictures. I know what you're talking about.
See, the first time I saw Beerus, I was like, it's a naked cat! I wanna hug him.
Yeah, I love Beerus's design.
Oh, naked cats are my favorite. Like, I like naked mole rats, too. Like,
Oh, that's not.
I don't know, I have a love for, I guess, you know, naked animals. I don't know why. Because they're so wrinkly. And...
Oh, she absolutely would.
Huh? And she loves those evil plush animals that you squeeze and... Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, they're more so for children, but I mean, if Tony got me one, I wouldn't be opposed to having it, you know?
Yeah, Macro is... He is definitely integral to the story, and plays a very important role throughout.
See, that seems to be all my sons, right?
What?
Play an important role to the story.
Oh. And, fun fact, Macro, looks like a young Darkon.
Apparently.
And no, there was no references or whatever to make it happen. It just happened.
Kind of like with Macro looking like my cousin, completely unintentionally.
Miki,
Not
I think
Macro.
Miki's only
Sorry,
met...
not Macro. Haseo, I'm sorry. Yeah, Haseo.
I think Miki's only met Tony's cousin like once.
Yep.
And that was
she,
at a convention.
She has no memory of it at all, which doesn't surprise me. Which doesn't
I
surprise
was
me.
gonna say,
Yeah.
you meet me at a con and I have had booze. I am sorry. unless you are literally like Kakashi dressed as Slave Leia, which is a true experience for me, I'm probably not gonna remember you. And as much as I want to, Drunk Mickey just doesn't have the capacity.
Yeah, but also remember to save.
What the fuck? Can I ask you all?
What
What's
your favorite abridged scene or episode other than? Okay, so can I ask you all what your favorite abridged scene or episode other than Fat Dog stuff? To all of us. So Darkon, you got a favorite one?
Damn it. Okay. On one regard, I don't think this one counts because they changed nothing but turning the song into English. And that was the end of TFS 60 Part 1.
Yeah.
Where they did the Himiko no Hi, or however you pronounce it. They did,
Stop eating that plastic.
They did that, but with the absolute minimum changes. So I don't know if that one counts. If that doesn't count, the talk and banter between Yami and Darts from Little Karibo. I absolutely loved how they did basically the same thing that they did from Kami and Piccolo, but in the Yu-Gi-Oh terms. Let's actually analyze this and do this well.
Yeah.
For a season that was just basically ripped on the whole time.
I would probably have to say every single word out of Helsing's mouth from 4 Stars Helsing's Abridged. Every word.
Yeah, they were good.
The voice actor they got for Helsing had me like it was just the perfect...
which Helsing? Like, what character? Sorry.
Helsing himself. What is his name?
Alucard.
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 That's Taka.
I was about to say Helsing is Integra. That's the woman. Are you certain you have the right one?
That's fair.
And
that too. She was
Integra,
pretty fucking funny too.
Integra's Megami, and she actually voices for us too. I don't know if you knew that, Miki.
I did not, but if I ever get the chance, I will tell her that in a dark place of my time, her and the Alucard voice actor got me through some shit.
Well, it's funny because it's funny you mentioned those two specifically because Taka has gone on record saying that he would voice for us at some point, but he's a very busy man, so we understand.
Bruh. I swear
Who's salty? I'm not salty. You're salty.
That shit had me laughing so hard, but Alucard's voice actor specifically nailed it. I mean,
Kurt's a great. Curtis is a great fucking voice actor, like straight up.
There is honestly nothing I would change about the voice acting that was done for Alucard in Hellsing Abridged. Fucking brilliant.
I think my favorite abridged episode would have to be Stick Nasty and Lit by Earl of Basington. So good.
I thought you were going to say the Hunter x Hunter one that they did.
That's also good, but the thing is though is it really
only has one.
Because the quality of the episode of Hunter x Hunter fluctuates because they couldn't afford to keep Brendan Hunter on. Fun fact: Brendan Hunter was the 1999 dub of Hisoka for Hunter x Hunter, and they had him voicing in their abridged series because he no longer voiced the character.
Nice.
But they
couldn't afford
they couldn't afford to keep him on, so their Hisoka went back to their Dr. Roxel voice, which, I mean, let's be honest, that's low-hanging fruit for Hisoka. Come on, guys.
But alright, so I was going to say I have a few that I enjoy, which is I think I'm trying to remember the episode number, but I did enjoy the fuck out of Codement.
Oh.
And the episode with Nina and
the table.
Yeah. Where
do
Nina,
your Nina.
That's Nonally.
Whatever. Do your Nonally. You can do Nina too easily.
No, I can't. What are you talking about?
You can totally make sounds like a dying Cody.
No. I can do Shirley, and I can kind of do the Nonally voice that
Yeah, just do the Nonnally.
No, I don't.
Come on, do the
Why are
Nonnally.
you gonna put me on the spot like that?
Because you brought it up.
What?
It's your own fault. You brought it up.
I didn't. Because someone asked me a fucking question, and I'm not gonna lie.
So
and
do
say
the
something else.
Nonnally.
Oh my god.
Lelouch, I think there's something wrong with Nina. She sounds like a dying coyote.
Oh my god.
Why that line specifically?
Because she was humping a fucking table.
She was masturbating with the table while
I
looking
am
at Princess.
aware of the line. I am asking why you had to pick that line to do your read.
Because
That's her trigger line
no. That's the episode
that she likes.
that whole episode
Specifically
in
because of that scene.
No, I like the whole episode, but that scene just made
Yeah.
the episode even better.
Yeah. I think another one that I really like, in the vein of Purple Eyes is definitely his soul whatever. Where he just does the random soul episodes and we actually quoted it right before the stream started where Black Star was fighting Mifune. Fucking he's like, yellow caution tape, he's too powerful. We gotta go.
Yeah. I do
like-
not want to know what he smokes to come up with his things. It just keeps escalating. And you saw the freaking Digimon one he did, right?
Yeah, I feel like that was him just
He's
getting
gone off the deep end. Somebody needs to get him 50 new meds.
Well, from my understanding, that was his last abridged episode ever. But again, it's Purple Eyes, so who knows? But it's one of those things where it's like, we've also worked with Purple Eyes, but getting a hold of him, dude, you got a better chance of getting Jesus in a call.
Fuck.
Jeez.
But so I was also going to mention Stick Nasty and Lit.
So good.
And then I was also going to mention Falero.
His null metal is so good.
It is.
Flareo's another friend of ours. He's voiced for us too.
Yeah.
He's just a good guy.
He did a cameo of Ed.
He's so chill.
Yeah, he's fucking.
Yeah, he showed up as Edward Elric in our Fairy Tale Abridged. I think it was episode 5?
I don't remember.
It was 5 or
I
6.
really
It was
don't.
episode 5 or 6 where he showed up in our
Doing magic.
yeah, so fucking just this stupid fucking thing where my Natsu was reading a letter left by Gajiel, and so he's getting ready to read it, and he goes, you know what? Hey, could you help me out real quick? And fucking Falero shows up as Ed, abso-sodding-lutely, matey boy, and fucking just magics him a fucking monocle and top hat.
Yeah, no, I do have to say some of the OG, I liked, DBZ Abridged, but after a while, I kind of
Lost interest.
really got out of it. I would watch it with you and Benny, if a new episode came out, but I really just, I don't know, I kind of felt just as burnout as they did, with doing DBZ Abridged, and so that's another reason why I'm really supportive of them doing the original stuff, because even I was burnt out. I was like, oh please do something else, please. That was literally my thought process, and so a lot of the OG people, Little Karibo, I enjoyed.
He's a very sweet guy too.
Dude, we ate breakfast next to him and didn't realize it.
Yeah, we were so hung. We were so.
You were hungover.
Okay, sorry. We, as in Cody, myself, Xana, Royce, my cousin, we were so hungover. And so we were eating at a breakfast buffet, and Martin was just chilling next to us, and we didn't realize it until he got up to leave, and we're like, oh hey, how's it going?
We were just like, oh my god, it's fucking Little Karibo. We were eating breakfast next to him and didn't realize it.
That was before we got on a first name basis.
Yeah. I think that was that before or a little bit after Log Horizon? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. No, it was because we met Cody that year, so that was before Log Horizon.
But yeah, even even like
You'll get your day.
his stuff kind of started to wane a little bit on me, just like, you know, because I was just like, please do something else other than Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Dude, please. Like, I think he did the Naruto thing.
Yeah.
But that, like, he didn't continue doing that, and I kind of wish he would have. Because I think I would have enjoyed that a lot more, because he just kept doing...
Well, see, I think he mainly made that out of spite.
Yeah, but he should have kept that spite going. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you know, the thing is, though, that's the same thing with Helsing. Helsing was made out of spite.
Yeah, and you saw how well that went.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier when it's just, what, is it 10 or 9 OVAs? There wasn't that many of them.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Juan, if you like our Wind Waker, good for you, man. I personally don't, but good, thank you. I'm glad you like it.
You don't like the
Evil door, scary door.
Okay, that's funny. That's funny because it's poking fun at the just limited mechanics of the medium.
Okay, but I'm gonna interrupt. I know Darkon was trying to say something, and I'm very interested to hear what it was before we move off topic.
Go ahead, Darkon. Sorry.
Say something.
It was just a wrap up on, like, it was a reminder on, it wasn't just episodes, it was just like particular scenes, which is why mine was just a scene, just the one thing with darts. But then I remembered something that has power over people. There are people that do this and they don't even know it's from Purple Eyes because of how memed it has been.
Yep.
Why are you buying clothes at the soup store? That's 5 years old now, and it's gotten so powerful. There are people that will do that and not even know where it's from.
Makes you wonder how he came up with that, like, legit.
He probably saw the suit. He probably saw the actual clothing store named Soup, and came up with it on the spot. He probably just said it. It's like, why are you buying clothes at the soup store? When he looked at it and went, I'm gonna write a whole thing about that.
Yeah, that I could totally. I mean, that's how a lot of our shit gets started.
Called Soup. That's a clothing store. If you don't know the joke, so.
And that's how a lot of our stuff
gets.
Too
many caps.
What?
Goldshot did too many caps and Nightbot.
I mean, you haven't missed a whole lot. We're just chatting.
I'm gonna go hang out with
Yeah.
my mom
Okay.
now.
All right. So abridging's great. Reminiscing about the old days, great. Next.
Darkon, Miki, I love you.
Love you too.
Love you.
Oh, see, she was faster than you. How dare, Darkon?
I didn't even hear her name be called.
She said
mine?
Miki as well.
Oh,
She said
must have,
yeah.
The Miki part was dropped on my end then.
Darkon thought for a second that it wasn't directed at him and went,
No,
I thought it was only directed at me.
So, Darkon, you want to say it now, or
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
What's the timing rules for this?
There's no mistiming. Just fucking say it.
Just tell me you love me, Jesus.
Ah, so it's an if and not a when. Got it. I love Yu-Gi-Oh. I love you.
He loves Yu-Gi-Oh. Did you hear that?
You know
I
what?
fixed it. No, I said it. I only said the first half. I fixed it. I love you, Chibi. You
There
don't
you
have
go.
footage. There's no proof.
He said it. He said it. He just said it.
this is on a live recording, sir.
Shut up. No, I will clear the tapes. I am mod. I will find a way.
I will clear the tapes while it's live.
But
Memorialized.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
no.
you got the joke.
yeah, we're there's no way in hell I'm gonna abridge Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not
Harley
happening.
Quinn's already like an abridge of the franchise, so.
Yeah. See, there's
Yeah.
certain anime, like I'm not saying it
Oh,
can't.
I do not like the Harley Quinn thing so far.
I'm not saying that, you know, comedic animes can't be abridged, but it's one of those things where it's, you know, it's tough to do a new perspective on something in a comedic fashion when it's already a comedy.
Yeah, so you either have to make it somehow mega serious and then have a viewership for that, or make it different, funny from a different angle. That's hard.
Yeah.
But you have immediately reminded of I must have been drunk. Do you remember my abridged pitch?
Nope.
The one after the all shot, and then Team 4-Star did it better with Kai.
Nope.
Teletubby abridged.
Oh, fuck you.
God.
I must have been drunk. When did I come up with that? I forgot all about Teletubby abridged. And, oh, I know why I came up with that. Because they're making more episodes. At the time when I said it, they were making more Teletubby. That was why. So that's a thing. Teletubby's old enough that the freaking baby son has grown up by now, and they're making more. That is weird.
That is weird.
Dude, that baby's probably at least in high school now. That is crazy.
Son of a bitch. There we go. Whew. You know what I never want to see the day come? Never want to
What?
see the day that one of my coworkers watches these streams. Y'all would not believe. I have been conditioned by working in a children's store that cursing is to be kept out of the workplace at all times. Except for obviously here, because it's different. But the bottom line is that I am very much so a straight line shooter. You do not hear a single curse come out of my mouth, except for the off chance that I'm on a one-on-one call with you and I let it go because I'm really frustrated. I'm on a one-on-one and I trust the person, and then even then I'm like, sorry for that F-bomb, or sorry for the language, just like really frustrated. It's like very, very proper, and I will not say anything disgusting or disgraceful. And then you come onto this stream, and it's like a whole 180.
We're sailing on the boat today, boys.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to take care of something. I'm back.
Oh, well, all right, welcome back. But yeah, it is like a complete 180 between my office job and then like working here. And the truth is that in life I curse like a sailor. Anywhere but work, I truly believe the saying that those who curse more are more honest, because they're just more honest with themselves. And I love curse words. My own mother has told me on many occasions my favorite word is fuck. Favorite word. And it is because it is the most versatile word in the English language, if you ask me. You can use it in almost literally any instance. It can be an adjective, it can be a verb, it can be a noun.
Are you
Oh.
referencing that that's an old video. You're referencing that right now, or at least you've seen it before.
But
What?
Oh wow, I have to show you that later then.
the the whole thing on swearing. I hated it because I'm personally of the mind where I really hate it where it kind of falls into the same category of people judging others just because they have tattoos or a weird hair color. I'm kind of in the camp of I'm sorry, but I don't think swearing should be stigmatized as much as it is.
I don't disagree with that. I really don't. But at the same time, I'm not worried about it so much. I do feel like if somebody heard me drop an F-bomb on an occasion, it would be fine. It's not the stigmatization that I'm concerned of. It's the fact that it would be so foreign to them hearing those words come out of my mouth that I think they'd be shell-shocked. but alternatively, the great thing about this company is that despite the fact that it's in the financial services, you would think that it would be very uptight and that you would need to be like there would be certain expectations. The truth is that for the nearly 3 years that I've worked for them, I've had every hair color under the sun. We hire people with full sleeves of tattoos. There's a girl that got hired on that has like horror movie tattoos, which is the coolest fucking thing ever. And it's very interesting to see that. But I've built up this credibility of being very, very polite, very proper, and not a single curse word that comes out of my mouth except for in private conversation. And then even then I apologize for it because I understand that while I don't think it should be stigmatized, it is. So I do understand that if I drop an F-bomb, I'm going to recoup and say, I'm sorry about that. And it's just like, whatever. But I genuinely feel like if one of my coworkers from my office were to be on one of these streams and listen to the things I say and the way I speak, it would be night and day of a difference. I don't know why I brought that up, but I thought about it, and
well,
I just...
because you bring up an interesting point, because it's one of those things where it's like, I'm really tired of a lot of the old school way of thought. Like, for example, several months ago, I went to go interview for a field tech position, while I was in between jobs, right? And, like, the guy interviewing me ended up not, hiring me because he didn't, he thought I was unprofessional. I wasn't wearing slacks, and I wasn't wearing dress shoes, and my polo shirt wasn't tucked in, and it's like, but I'm applying for a field tech position. I came dressed like I would dress for work. I'm dressing for the job that I want. It's not an office job. And like, the dude had the fucking gall to call me unprofessional, and he shows up 45 minutes late to the interview.
Damn. That is kind of fucked up. But what I'll say is that as far as, like, an initial interview, I think that I could understand that standpoint, because even though that is not, like, you're not expected to dress that way every day, you're not expected to look like that every day, it's showing the effort. It's kind of like gauging a what's the word I'm looking for?
Mindset?
No.
Once you come up with the word, I have a reply, but
It's like kind of like looking at a respect for the job.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. With the job that I got several years ago, the better part of a decade ago, I showed up in a suit and tie for it, and it was my first field tech job. And thankfully I was hired because of what I brought to the table. But my boss, a few weeks down the line, told me, he goes, yeah, you're lucky we really did need you. Otherwise we wouldn't have hired you. And I said, why is that? And he goes, because you showed up to an interview for a field tech position in a fucking suit and tie. This isn't an office job.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to vary based on person to person. Some people view it as just a standard point of, like, do you really want this job? Do you really care enough about this job to put, like, on some nicer clothes to tuck in your shirt? I would definitely say that unless you're going to an office job, a suit is a little overkill. But, like, nice button-up, khakis, nice shoes, making sure your hair is not fucking crazy, like, piercings are removed. It's showing that you're willing to put forth the effort to impress. Whereas if you show up in a certain, in a certain regard, yeah, it might be a field job, but it kind of gives that air of, well, you don't really care. You don't care to impress somebody. You don't care to put a little extra effort in. And the way that people see that and that mentality is, if this is how you treat the interview, how are you going to treat the job? And so I think that's where that stigmatism comes in, is that they're looking at how you present yourself during the interview as synonymous with how you would go about treating and respecting the actual job itself. So if you're not willing to put on a button-up shirt, tuck your shirt in, put nice shoes on, remove piercings, or at least make an effort to cover tattoos, then do you even really care about it at all? You know?
Yeah, I guess I'm more on the side of things where, you know, that would be, I guess it would kind of depend on the person, but I'm more of the field of thought of the way I gauge a person is their actual skill set. You know, it's like, you know, if they like, for example, so if it were a field tech job. I'm sorry?
I said, if anything goes to show an example of that, my interview is a great, starting point for your.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, shit, you showed up to the interview, you know, saying, you know, like, well, you know, I'm gonna prioritize my real life job, you know, and all this other stuff, and you even said yourself, Devin was looking at you like, are you fucking crazy?
But I mean, the truth is that everything that I said, I was being very realistic, and to me, that was my way of showing respect to you as not only an individual, but as a professional company. I wanted to make sure that you were fully aware and understanding what you were getting yourself into, and if that wasn't cool with you, that's fine, and that was more important than, you know, anything else. But had we had an in-person interview, I still would have dressed nicely. I wouldn't have shown up in anime swag. I would have put a blouse on. I would have pulled my hair back and you know, actually put effort into my appearance, because I want to show that despite the fact that, yeah, I may have a couple of downsides or hitches, I do care about the job I'm applying for. I want to put effort into it. So you put effort into your image, it is a direct reflection, which is the word I was trying to look for before, a direct reflection of how you would treat the job.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I would be more inclined to accept the guy's, you know, refusal of it, or rather turning me down, if he didn't strictly use the words unprofessional.
Yeah, that's a little.
And I'm like, you son of a bitch. You show up 45 minutes late to my fucking interview, and you have the gall to call me unprofessional?
Welcome to the context.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So not only is that excessive as far as a description, but the fact that he showed up late himself by 45 minutes is very hypocritical of him to use that as an excuse to not hire you.
Yeah. For
sure. Did he have a point? You know, why aren't you putting an effort into your image, and that this potentially could reflect on your outlook on the job? Yeah. Does that mean you're being unprofessional? No, you still dressed for the job you were going to do. You still put an effort in, just not in the way that they wanted.
Yeah, I was taking to heart my previous boss's words. He's like, you know, dress for the job, dude. This is a tech job, field tech job.
Yeah, so it's a matter of dress to impress, and that's kind of it's a hard line to walk, but the safe thing is that if it's not an office job, put on a nice button up, some good slacks, some good shoes, take care of your hair, and then what could go wrong? If you got somebody who wanted you to be a little more dressed for the job, well, you know, what could you not do in slacks and a button-up shirt? That you know, that's not the worst thing, but then if you're going for a job that did care about that, you look like you still give a damn.
Well, okay, for the shirt, yes, I can understand that, but for slacks specifically, jeans are a safety issue for field tech jobs. You're not allowed to wear anything other than jeans. You cannot wear slacks because they don't provide the protection that jeans do. So for the shirt, yes, you absolutely have a point. But for the jeans though, you have to wear those. That's required. I've actually seen people sent home.
Pair of jeans.
Huh?
I said you can still buy yourself a nice pair of jeans.
They were
No
nice.
holes.
I
make
mean,
sure that they're
They at the
know,
time they
Yeah.
were nice. They're
clean,
not so much
not
anymore.
stained. Right. But the idea is that if that was the only piece to that you had, then it was maybe not quite enough. But
I mean,
as far as
yeah.
like, you know, if you're wearing jeans to an interview, that's great. Just make sure they're clean.
Yeah,
They're
they
washed,
were
there's no
clean,
holes,
brand
no
new blue
stains.
Levi jeans.
Exactly.
So
So
yeah, I just, you know, I feel like the guy had some fucking insecurities or something he needed to work out, and he took it out on me.
damn.
Just like,
Always possible.
I mean, the experience I brought to the table was more than enough. I mean, I'm glad he didn't hire me. I'll be honest with you, because you know that sort of attitude is kind of indicative of how he would be a manager, and I do not want that.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. So you dodged a bullet.
Oh,
but
absolutely, yeah.
I would definitely say saying unprofessional was unreasonable.
Yeah.
My
Like,
friend from college?
you know, the thing is that he didn't say it to my face. Because I got the interview through a contracting company. And so he called the contracting company and told them that, and I asked him, I'm like, are you quoting him verbatim? And he goes, yeah, I just got off the phone with the guy.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, so you called me on, did he tell you that he was 45 minutes late to the interview? And he goes, no, he neglected to mention that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Just
My
goes to
turn?
show. But yes, Darkon, it is your turn.
You have immediately brought me back to the days of college because an interview course was mandatory to get out of my field. Pretty much almost all of them has interview course is mandatory. And one of the funny tricks that was specifically told to me was if you're going for an interview, bring a hat. Buy a hat, go get the hat, get a hat. Why?
And then take it off when you
Take
enter
it
the
off.
building.
Have a hat, go into the interview, immediately when you're going into the interview room, take the hat off. Make
That's
them
such a fuckered
have them see
psychology
you.
piece.
Have them see you take the hat off. That was an instruction. We were graded on that.
Seriously? Wow.
I mean,
Yeah, it works.
It's a good psychological piece. It's the same as like so I watched a TED Talk a long time ago about body language and, you know, how to express yourself without saying a single word. And a lot of it had to do with how you carried yourself during an interview. That was like the biggest thing that they talked on, which is like, don't slump your shoulders, don't cross your arms, don't close your body off. You need to keep your arms open, your shoulders back, open up the center of your body to the interviewer, because this shows an air of confidence. You're not closing yourself off from the world, instead exposing yourself to this person that's interviewing you. So the body language actually speaks miles and leagues to a psychological standpoint that gives this person the idea of, yeah, this person has got a lot of confidence. They've got a good attitude, and it can come directly from your body language, because you could say all the same great things, but if you're closed up and shrunk over and you got your arms like crossed over yourselves, you seem anxious. It doesn't matter what you say, they're going to be paying attention to the fact that you don't have the air of confidence to say it with gusto. So it's kind of like a really neat psychological trick. You go in with a hat and take that hat off, you're immediately showing respect to the person that you're interviewing with because you removed your hat in their presence. It's because that's just like an old kind of way of showing courtesy. I like psychology. And
Same.
at one point in time, I came very close to actually potentially looking to take a profession in psychology, because I do have like a good deep understanding of the human brain, the way people tick, the way people react, which is why I'm a people person, and I know very well how to deal with it. Even if I can't prove you're lying to me, I know you're lying to me, and I can call you out on it all damn day long. And it's because the way people act, their body language, something that they say, a stutter in their words, you know, it's very clear to me when certain things happen. And people always follow a very specific pattern, right down to the root of every single human being. There is a pattern because it has been socially drilled into everyone. It's like part of your genetics.
Yep. And figuring out which person's pattern is the hard part. Once you have it, you have it. But as soon as you think you know everything, you're gonna see a pattern you've never seen before.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the other piece to me, though, is that I know that I don't know everything, and I know that there will always be something more that I can learn, and I love that about life. Nothing is perfect. Nothing can ever be perfect. There will
Welcome to the
literally always be something that could be better. So, understanding that and accepting that fact actually helps you to open your mind to the possibility of so much, and to help you take in so much information and take in all of these different opinions and the different things that happen. It's really fascinating, almost how kind of freeing and educational it is to come to the admittance that nothing will ever be perfect. You're never gonna find a perfect mate. You're never gonna have a perfect relationship. Your life will never be perfect. Your family will never be perfect. Your job will never be perfect. Not a single fucking thing in your life will ever be perfect. It can get pretty damn close. But knowing that helps you to recognize the difference between what is good and what is not. Having an unrealistic standard trying to set everybody up to meet or come up against puts yourself up to failure every fucking time. Because the moment you set the ideal of what is perfect in your mind, nothing and nobody can surpass that. And you've now set a mental block for yourself. The only thing I will literally say, actually no, it's not appropriate, so I won't say it, but
I stepped on 5 landmines. She's still going. Help.
What?
oh. No, I just-
Apologies. I think you're getting to the ranting mode. Oh boy, did I step on something.
No, you didn't step on anything. It's just it's a fascinating
Yeah.
subject. It's a subject that I take a very high interest in, and I take a lot of pride in knowing that nothing will ever be perfect. Because, and I guess you did step on something. It's because all my life growing up, I tried so hard to achieve what was perfect. And I would only ruin myself. I would put myself down because I could never achieve what I like, that ideal of perfection. And it's because that shit doesn't exist. Stop idealizing perfection. Stop seeking it out. Stop putting that mental block in your mind, and you will open yourself up to the ability to be much happier. Much happier.
See, my immediate reaction to perfection doesn't exist is Cell begs to differ.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
Oh my god.
What was it? It was at
He
some
is
point
perfect,
near the end
perfecter Cell.
You reminded me near the end of high school. It was always, wow, I did something in junior high, and it was like, wow, I actually reached the point where I know everything. And then life happens, and then life kept happening, and eventually I got to the point where I'm just about to come out of high school, and I came to the greatest realization of my life. I'm never going to stop learning.
You will
I'm
never
going to
stop.
stop getting better, am I? And I've
Something
just kept
can
that my
always
whole
be
life.
improved.
Yeah. I've kept
And
that
that's
my whole life.
the exact point. That's the exact end tangent is something can always be improved. There is nothing in this world that will ever achieve perfection, and it is because the brain is always continuously growing. The purpose of whatever it is will continuously grow. You'll find a new purpose for it and realize that it's no longer perfect and that actually could be better. They're so there might be 1 or 2 things out there that have reached the peak of perfection, that there is not a single other thing that could possibly be done better. And the only thing that comes to mind is like maybe a tool that you could use to do something, but so very rare. So very rare. And the only things that could meet perfection would definitely not be something human. Something that can always be ever changing and moving, developing, never will reach perfection. Never.
What I think is perfect changes. The goalpost is different every day.
See, so you got right out of high school and you're like, I'll never stop learning. It took me until I got out of high school to realize I want to start learning.
Oof.
I fucking
Everybody
hated high
has their
school.
own journey.
Like, I did not like high school. I really didn't. And it wasn't because I was a bad student. It was, that old additive where, you judge a fish on its ability to climb, and it's gonna think it's a fucking idiot.
Yep.
And that was very true for me. I was a fish, and they were trying to teach me to climb, and I'm like, no, I swim. And so, like that, I hated high school because of that, where, they were so fucking rigid. Like, no, you have to learn this way. There is, okay.
Oh, the methodology of learning. Oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the subject at that point. Ooh.
Yeah, I hated the methodology, and so prime example, in high school, when I was taking math, right, and my math teacher fucking hated me, because I knew the material, and so I refused to take notes, and he got real bitchy with me about that, and at one point, so we took a test, and the requirement was that we had to show our work. And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. I don't agree with that, but fine. You want me to show you my work, I'll show my work. So I did the test, and I showed my work, and I get the test back, and I got a 0 on it. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I know these answers are right. Why did you fail me? And his justification was, you didn't follow the method that I taught. And I go, why does it fucking matter if I don't use your fucking method? I came to the same answer.
I showed you how I came up with 2 + 2 is 4, and it's right. What's the problem?
You literally stepped on another small, very minor landmine for me, because I had the same exact fucking situation. I had a math teacher in middle school who I would solve a math problem the way that made sense to me, that I could understand the easiest. And there was 4 different ways to solve the math problem. But because I didn't solve it the way she taught me, it didn't get counted. That...
Yeah. Oh no, I fought on that. I fought
never,
tooth.
Never fucking forget her.
But for me, it was positive. That's mine, but it was the other side of the spectrum. My dad would show me, hey, did you know you can get this answer 5 different ways? And I look at him and go, you're lying. How does that work? And then he shows me 5 different math formulas to get to the same answer. And I look at this and I go, wow, that's really cool. I want to learn all the different ways to get all the answers the same different way. And that was very educational. Why not teach them all the ways to reach the same answer? That's how math works.
Yeah, so actually, to elaborate here a little bit. So, because this guy, again, he had it out for me. He did not like me. He made no secret of it, that he didn't like me. And this was further proof of it, because up until him and I had kind of our quote unquote falling out, the show your work was not required on the tests. So what had happened very early on in the year, about 3 months into the first semester, he started noticing that I wasn't taking notes in class, and so he'd call me by my last name, which I'm not going to say at the moment, but So we'll just for the sake of the story, we'll just say Tony. And so he would I would just be reading a book while he's teaching the class, because I'd already gotten the homework done, so I'm just reading my book while I wait. And he took it as a sign of disrespect, and that was not the case. It was like, dude, I already know the materials. I've got today's work done. You're teaching the rest of these guys. They need the lesson. I don't. I'm here because I need ass in the seat time. Otherwise I wouldn't be in this class. I'm required to be here. Otherwise I wouldn't be. So anyway, Tony, you need to be taking notes. No, I don't. He goes, yes, you do. I'm like, no, I don't. I've already finished today's work. I know the material. I don't need to take notes. Keep doing your thing. Doing great. And so, he looks at me and goes, all right, so what you're saying is you already know all of this material. I go, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. And he goes, all right, so if I give you this week's test, by the way, it was a Tuesday. If I give you this week's test that we're going to be taking on Friday, you'll ace it 100%, no questions wrong, and without question. I go, yeah, absolutely. He goes, all right, well, I'm going to give you the test right now, and if you miss a single answer, then you're taking notes for the rest of the year, and I don't want to hear anything about it. I go, okay, that's fine, but if I do pass it, then you just keep doing what you're doing. You leave me alone. And he agreed to it. Gives me the test. About 20 minutes later, I hand him the test, and I even did the extra credit as a kind of a middle finger to him. And I fucking aced it. And if fucking looks could kill, man. Like, the fucking look he gave me. Because I made him look like an idiot in front of the rest of the class. Like, he put everything on hold and just sat there watching me take the fucking test. Like, he paused the entire class. So, like, he's just sitting there, just fucking laser sight me while I'm taking the fucking math test. Like, trying to fucking psych me out or some shit. So anyway, fast forward a couple of weeks after that, and he starts putting the requirement on the test that we now all have to show our work, knowing full well that because I am not watching how he is explaining how the work needs to be done, despite coming to the same answers, that I would fail because of that. So I brought it to my counselor, and I'm like, this is bullshit. The guy, like, here the fucking answers are right. Just because I didn't do his method, he's failing me. That's bullshit. And so eventually, it got taken care of, and, the dude was forced to give me the A like he fucking should have. I don't know why the fuck he was so fucking out to get me. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, anger is a terrible thing.
Well, it didn't help,
Back to
Sorry, say again, Nikki?
I was gonna say, literally going back to specifically what I was saying. It's human psychology. You have a person who's clearly in an alpha position who has, probably a considerable amount of stress going on in their life. Teaching is not an easy job.
No, it absolutely isn't.
You might have been an easy class, but the next class might have been little absolute fucking terrors. Or who knows? You guys might have been the terrors. Like, whatever. Shit. You have a person that then has their alpha dominance challenged by a lesser being. Of course you're going to lash out. It's literal human, it's not even human behavior, it's just natural behavior. And alpha defends his territory. It literally boils down to the shit that is drilled into our genetics. Anyways, sorry.
No, it's fine.
I hit the tangent again.
That I was purely talking about length the last time. I didn't mean to put a damper on the topic, to be specific.
Yeah. But no, it was...
Fine.
The topic is, like, you and I have so many similar things on, like, I'm amazed I'm not a psychologist.
I really, many times I have thought to go into it, but I don't think that I would find myself very happy in a psychology job.
I don't think I could do it as work. I don't think my earnest feelings towards it in order to help people would be there if it was job.
Oh, also, Miki, remember to save.
So you two have been talking about failings in the...
Hold on. Just really quick, before we keep on with the topic, I don't think I've heard anything from chat for a while. have we been?
Oops. Hi guys. Chat's kind of just been going on their own teacher stuff.
Yeah, you know, they're kind of replying to what we were saying.
Coming up that are check related, I've been answering in text whenever I can.
Okay. All right. Cool. Because I mean, even if it's not necessarily check related, I am still interested to hear like people's experiences. Like I care. I do care about that stuff, and I don't have the same opportunity to read as much into those as you guys do. So I hope that
we
you'll consider on those.
we got a guy that was his math teacher didn't like him a lot, so he got masters in stats.
That's Cody.
I'm not familiar with what that means.
That's Cody.
I'm assuming you did really good.
No, all right. First of all, the guy, that's Cody. That's Legend by Design. So
Yep.
You know him.
Again, if you don't have his name, I'm going to either read the name on screen or I'm not going to.
And he got a master's in statistics.
Okay, stats. Okay. His math teacher does driving ed now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a big oof.
Yeah, so I had... Yeah, masters. Okay. But I hate the damn wolf book. Taken serious wolf book.
Yeah, he's talking about the word alpha. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So for me, my thing that didn't work, but they realized it wasn't working, and thus they came up with a new plan, because getting them to learn the objective and Canada understand that.
Literally, like the only fucking thing I could think of was like, fucking, it's gotta be because it's Canada.
They're slow. They're very slow, but they'll figure it out eventually. So, Anthony, are you aware of, for my entire life in all of school curriculum, what my single-handedly terrible, like always failed grade category was? What did I do the worst in school in ever?
science.
Writing.
Writing?
That was English writing was my single-handed worst thing throughout my entire curricular career. That was just reality.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. I can't believe that I'm doing this with that being a fact that was in my life. But so back when writing was the worst thing in the world, one of the things that would happen every Tuesday was that we would get a prompt, and we had to write about that prompt. And as long as you were writing about the prompt in any context, you were fine. And I am a type of person still at this phase where I deal with very literal, specific things. If the prompt was specific enough, I would be fine and I would write like normal. As soon as it did anything vague, especially things on how do you feel, which I did not actually know how I felt ever. I would stare at that page and draw blanks for the entire night. If you did not have that page written when you showed up for Wednesday, they would take you into a hallway in the back of the class and sit you there until you did it. And I understand what they thought was going on. They basically figure, okay, he's just being disobedient. He's capable of doing it, clearly, but he just chose not to, so they're punishing a person for choosing not to do it. They're not understanding that I'm sweating onto this paper to the point where the paper was destroyed once because I can't come up with anything. And I lost a quarter of every single of Wednesday. I lost every Wednesday for an entire quarter of the term. And then eventually they called it off, specifically because I was losing so much. They would keep you there the entire class, the entire Wednesday class if you don't do it. And I did not enjoy that. It was not me like looking, I get to take a break in my seat for the whole time. No, that was them eventually coming over to the paper and then picking the paper up, and the paper came in half because I was sweating on it. And then they realized, oh no, he's actually stuck. and this is not helping.
You know, that reminds
So that's how bad I was at writing at one point.
That reminds me of something that happened to me in high school. Another high school story. Here we go. So in my high school, they had this dumbass fucking rule for sophomores that you couldn't have any free period. You had to have study halls, and you had to attend the study halls, even if all you had left for that day were study halls. You had to go, which was so fucking dumb to me.
Wow.
So I refused. I didn't go because I had 3 fucking study halls at the end of every other day.
Oh, no. Oh, come on, guys. Oh.
3 study halls in a row at the end of every other day, and then so on odd days it was 3 study halls. On even days it was 2 study halls. At the end of each of my day, I got all my classes done in the beginning of the day and into right after lunch. And so I said, fuck that. I got all my work done. Why the fuck do I need to be in the study hall? It's fucking stupid. So I didn't go. And by the end of the first semester, I had skipped over 300 study halls. And so they finally noticed this, and so they bring me into the office, and they're like, okay, well, you skipped this many study halls. And I go, wow, really? Damn. That's kind of impressive. And so for skipping class, specifically skipping study halls, a class that means absolutely nothing, it's not a fucking class, there's no educational value to it, they put me in a month of in-school suspension. So for skipping a class that isn't a class,
They're gonna put you in another class that's not a class.
yeah.
Even less than a class. That's
So
not a
they're
class.
taking me out of
How do
all.
you study in detention?
Yeah, so they're taking me out of all of my classes for a full fucking month. So the first month
That's what you meant. Oh, that's not what I thought you meant.
in school suspension, where I'm sitting in the same office all day for a full month.
Right.
They did it as a way to try to keep an eye on like troubled cases.
But see, like, I would understand that if I would understand that if I were skipping actual classes, but I'm just skipping study hall. And so I'm just like, so just to make sure I understand this, guys. So you are upset with me for not going to class, and so you're going to take me out of class for a full month. Just making sure we're on the same page here. And I'm like, can't you just, like, give me a week of out of school and call it good? And they're like, nope, you get a month of in school. So, for the first month of my second semester as a sophomore, I was in-school suspension for the full fucking month. My friends thought I moved, for God's sake. And so what they did was, they gathered up all of the work that I would be missing, all of the homework and everything from all of my classes for that month, and just gave it to me in one big chunk. They said, all right, here's all the schoolwork you'll be missing while you're there. And I'm like, this is... You realize how fucking, like, counterproductive this is, right? And so, anyway, so I spent the first week just busting my ass to get...
I was gonna say, how quick did you tear through it?
I spent the first week just busting my ass getting all of the work done. And so, what I did, though, was I brought a laptop, my own laptop, and said, hey, I'm gonna use this to get my homework done for the research and everything.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't let him bring in his laptop, dude. I know the stories of what you do to their computers.
Yep. So, anyway, so I bring in my laptop, and,
Oh god, I need this color lighter.
and after the first week, you know, I busted out all my homework, but I didn't let them know I'd busted out all my homework. They didn't know.
Yeah. So you're going through it at the pace that is expected of you, because of course you are.
Yeah. And so for the next 3 weeks, all I did was play Diablo 2 on my laptop.
Oh, God. That was your alcoholic beverage of choice back in the day.
Yep, it sure was. And the best part was because I was sitting in the corner of the room, and so I sat with my back to my desk, with my leg crossed over one leg, and had the laptop on my lap, facing, so that the screen was facing away from the person who was monitoring everything.
And they never come over to... Well, you can just alt-tab.
I did. I alt-tabbed every time. And so another funny thing was in middle school, I got a week of in-school suspension again. I don't remember what had happened, but I got a week of in-school. But they didn't have a dedicated in-school area, so they put me in the assistant principal's office for the week. And this was during a thing called Weeples, for our school, and basically the principal would be gone or the assistant principal would be gone all day doing all of the Weeple events for the rest of the school, where like he would go to classrooms and do little drawings and give away prizes and all this other shit, right? So the first day of the in-school suspension, I stayed there because I noticed that he left, about 30 minutes after I got there, and then was gone until 30 minutes before school got out. And so when he got back, I said, so is this going to be like an all-week thing? Like, am I just here by myself all week? He goes, yep, this is pretty much my schedule for the rest of the week. And I go, okay, just whatever. Can I go home now? And he goes, yeah. So I leave, and I bike to school the next day. And the assistant principal's office was right next to the bike racks, and he had a window. Uh-oh. So once he left, I got on my bike. I climbed through the window, got on my bike, and biked home for the day. And then biked back with just enough time to get back into the window and position myself. And about 5 minutes later, he walks into his office. So I spent pretty much the whole week just chilling at home.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, email wasn't a huge thing then. That wasn't something that, high school kids used very frequently.
Yeah. Like, they would make you do it in, like, a tech course, and then you go, oh, that's cool.
Never using this again.
Yeah, like, you don't really understand the importance of this. I do like how that culture has actually changed, though. The entire idea on, well, we can talk to each other over a phone, or the internet, or... I do like the fact that there is the desire to connect with people at all times.
Yeah. So it's just like I never understood the point of in-school suspension for just skipping class. Like that seemed
for academic reasons.
Yeah, like or for that matter, out of school suspension for academic reasons. It was fucking dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Like why? You're skipping class, so we're gonna take you out of class. What?
Well, I mean, if you think about it from like a higher standpoint, you lost out when they did that.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's a punishment that I think people don't truly and fully like recognize is happening. Is that the punishment is you don't want to learn? Okay, don't learn, and you'll pay for it and suffer later in life.
Yeah, that's why we're saying, like, specifically for academics, how does this make any sense?
Yeah.
Like, and it was one of those things where it's like, again, they were so rigid in their fucking rules that they didn't take into consideration the minor details and the context of what classes were being skipped. It was just, oh, he skipped class, give him in-school detention. How many did he skip? 300. Okay, that equates to a month of in-school. Like... Okay, but I'm not skipping any classes of actual substance. It's just study hall.
Welcome to this is the rules. I actually can't not do this. Why? Why is it designed in a way that you can't not do this? Why is the context not relevant? If context is not relevant, don't you think you should change that?
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid.
I had a fun high school experience because, like, I didn't pay. My mother paid tuition to send me to a different school because they had an art academy that wouldn't accept students from the school I was zoned to be in. Some specific stuffs and things, and they decided to take themselves out of the county and become their own city school, and therefore they were no longer accepted by county supported programs, whatever. So my mother paid good money for me to go to a school that I would say was less than optimal. It was in a troubled neighborhood, there was a lot of crime, and there was a lot of students that just did not give a fucking flying shit. There was vandalism, people, doing drugs, behind the fire station across the street at one point in time myself, but, it's another story. And then, needless to say, I paid, we paid good money for me to go to this school, so that I could attend the art academy, which was the real prize. And at one point in time, I started there my junior year, my sophomore, freshman, junior. Does sophomore come before or after junior? I can't even remember anymore. So you're a freshman, and then you're a sophomore, and then a junior, and then a senior, right?
Wait, what? There's 4?
Yeah, there's freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Sophomore. All right, so I started there in my
love
sophomore
Canada.
year.
We just use numbers.
I love Canada. Well, I mean, we also use numbers, but it is also referred to in high school your last 4 years. So.
And your high school's 4 years. That's the difference. Our high school's 3 years.
Do you have 12 years of school?
10, 11, and 12 is high school. Grade 9 is still junior high.
Middle school.
Yeah,
or junior high, whatever.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get you off topic. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. So for us, 9th grade usually it was the start of your high school. So that appears to be the only real significant difference. As far as that was concerned, I started attending this school during my sophomore year, and I mean it wasn't too bad. The strangest thing was that I came from, and I'll try to be very cautious about how I say this. I came from a predominantly white community. Everybody was very, very prim and proper. It was definitely the definition of what you would call a prep school. Everybody had some kind of status or something to their name. And then when I left that school and I went to the next school, that school was in the ghetto, and instead it was majority minority. I mean, I think probably the ratios is that it was probably about 80% black people, 10% white people, and then the last 10% made up, it was a mix of Hispanic and Asians. And that was the very realistic statistic. That is how that school was set up. And it was just because of the area and the community that it was in. Now, I'm not saying that because of the races that it made up, that was the reason why it was the way it was, which was very much so. There were students who got arrested frequently, and a lot of just bad news bears. It was geographical more than anything. And in that circumstance, when you go from one side of the spectrum to the complete opposite side of the spectrum, I very much so did not fit in. As much as I truly have always believed in equality, and I'll get on this topic just very briefly. I remember at one point I said in class, I don't understand the differences of why race even matters. If I cut me open and I cut you open, we both bleed red. And I didn't realize at the time, because I didn't understand that was actually a disrespect to those who had been suffering under discrimination, because it wasn't recognizing and realizing the pain and the sorrow that they've had to go through. And so I actually had a lot of people who hated me because I said that, and it was because I didn't understand, because of where I came from. But anyways, so I had a pretty tough time at this school. I had a tough time learning because the teachers just didn't care. They didn't give two shits about the students that were in their classes, and the students really kind of didn't really care about learning. And it eventually had gotten to a point where I was put into, I remember I started my senior year and I was put into a remedial history class because it was the only place that they had left space for me. Not because I needed to be in a remedial class. I hope that at this extent in time that you would understand that I am an intelligent person. I am not of a special education needs.
Well, I would argue the difference there. You know, there's a difference between intelligent and book smart.
I mean, granted, but remedial specifically is a special needs class.
Oh, okay. I
Those
was
who
not
are
aware.
so far on the spectrum that they need extra help, extra hand-holding, that they have to be taken at a certain speed.
Okay.
And it's very realistic that that is a class that existed. And in that circumstance, at that time, and still to this day, truthfully, I could never understand their decisioning for that because, quite frankly, you put somebody at a normal learning speed in a class like that and expect them to try and learn is the most difficult thing. I mean, we quite frankly could not even get through the boy in the striped pajamas because the class was disrupted so many times the teacher finally took the video out and wouldn't let us finish it. I was genuinely interested. I loved learning about World War I and World War II topics. I thought that they were very, very educational. And I was pissed that, like, movie time is all students' favorite time because they're not having to take notes. They're not having to sit there and learn and go through, like, answering questions or taking tests. You just sit in a fucking room that's dark and watch a fucking movie. And that that couldn't even happen. And that was where I drew the line.
Woohoo! Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. But we couldn't even get to that extent. And I mean, it was so bad, the way that the teachers treated these students. And it's no wonder they had so many people who were troublemakers, or so many people that, I mean, I remember I had a teacher who literally said in class that they could name at least 12 people in that class that would probably be arrested in their future.
Oh.
That is how these teachers treated these students.
Shit,
And
that
the
was
students,
Ugh.
in return, acted accordingly. They didn't give a fucking shit. And that was the hardest place to learn anything for a student who really genuinely did care about being educated. And it got to a point in my senior year when they put me in that remedial history class and we couldn't get through the fucking striped pajamas. It was the drawing point for me. I stopped going to school altogether. I didn't just skip one class. I skipped all of them because I stopped fucking caring. When I got my diploma, which I got on time because I busted ass. I skipped I'll back up. I skipped 2 weeks in a row from school at one point. It was the longest stint that I had gone without actually going to school. There were even points where I would go to school and just sit in my car until the day was over and then go home because I had nothing better to do. That's how much I didn't want to go to school anymore. Because I couldn't fucking stand the fact that I was never gonna learn anything in that area. With the way that the teachers treated the students and how they just had a complete disregard for education, absolutely not. I was done.
Yeah,
I got piercings on my, I got lip piercings, which were against school code during those 2 weeks. And I reverse a little bit further. The way I got away with that is that I had an in at the front office. They had like office aides. You know, you could sign up that on one of your free periods you could go to the office and be a goody two-shoes and help like file things away and help the principal and the vice principal do shit. And at one point in time, I like managed to get my records switched with another girl's. So like my parents' phone numbers, my address, all of that.
Nice.
So all of the letters and all of the phone calls that went out to my parents to tell them that I was not coming to school did not actually come to my parents. And it was really funny because I remember I went to go pick friends up at some point during that 2 weeks, and the girl saw me like at the steps of school, and she came up and she told me, I have to get some letters for you. It was pretty funny. But anyways,
See,
needless to say, after 2 weeks of hearing absolutely nothing back, the principal became awfully concerned, because I don't know if you remember, but back when I was in high school, the phone calls were all automated. Everything that got sent out was like a little automated message to say, your daughter, this student didn't show up to school today, or was absent today. It was like all automated. It was never a person picking up the phone, because they didn't even have the fucking time to do that. But it had gotten to a point after 2 weeks that they were so concerned about me because they hadn't heard anything, that the principal in person dug up my number, found my mom's cell phone, called her and said, hey, we're just checking in. We haven't seen Mackenzie in a long time. Is she okay? Do you guys have something going on? And of course, my mother was not happy. She did not know I was skipping. She called me while I was at a mall and asked me where I was, and I said school the first time around. She said, don't you fucking lie to me. Something to that extent, and I was just like, oh shit. I had my car taken away from me. My mom suspended my driver's license. My school suspended my ability to drive to school for 6 months. It was a whole ordeal, and my mom had to beg the principal not to fail me right then and there. But by that point, when I did finally pick up my diploma, I remember my principal telling me that I had come 9 days away from skipping an entire semester of school. Now, for any of you who are not familiar with how long a semester of high school is, that is half of your school year. And that was my senior year. I had come 9 days away from skipping an entire semester of school. So she told me that it would not be fair to the other students if I were to walk. So I was not allowed to walk, which, I find completely and totally acceptable. But I will never forget, she looked at me and told me that I was too smart to be left behind in a place like that. That's the kind of attitude that these people had about this school. Their own principal told me that I was too smart to be left behind in a place like that. So she gave me my diploma. She retired the next year. I think that with knowing that she didn't really care. And that is the story of my adolescence, of my experience skipping school, which you kind of roused in me talking about how you skipped your study period. I just said, fuck it. Well, to be completely honest, during that time I went and I smoked a bunch of pot and just played video games and did absolutely nothing, which, and truth be told, people, that you may think that sounds like all grandeur and that I didn't get punished enough, the punishment wasn't really all that bad, but I will go ahead and tell you that I would give anything to have taken that time to actually being able to learn had I had the opportunity.
Agreed.
So
I'm in the same boat. I wish I would have actually spent my time productively in high school, but it was tough because it was one of those things where it's like, even in high school, I was avid. That's when I was doing PhatDogStudios, and so I was an avid. I was an up and coming, quote unquote, up and coming young voice actor trying to make a name for myself, and my interests. I made no secret of them. I didn't see a point to hide my interests, and because of that, I got bullied like you would not fucking believe in high school.
Oh yeah.
And it's I still remember these fucking pieces of shit fucking giving me shit for doing what I loved, fucking giving me shit oh yeah it's you're gonna do nothing. You're gonna do nothing with your fucking life. You're gonna be a bum under a fucking bridge with your fucking only possession's gonna be a fucking laptop, and you're gonna be doing nothing, playing video games, or maybe you'll voice a plumber or something. You know what, Dan, go fuck yourself, you fucking piece of shit. You know what? You're a fucking piece of shit. I bet my fucking prediction of you being in fucking jail's right, you fucking asshole.
Damn. See, I was a child
Congratulations,
that
Anthony.
wanted to
Sorry, go
learn,
ahead.
but was not given the right material or given the, a way to learn that my very slow brain could process. And they told me that they tried taking me out of special needs class because I was a little smarter, which is not a high bar to raise, but I was a little smarter than some of the other kids in the class. But I was too dumb to be in normal classes because I didn't understand a damn thing that was going on. And so I just kind of said fuck it, and I would unless I was in a special needs class, I excelled because I had I was able to learn in a way that I could understand to learn things. If things are read out to me or put in a way that I can understand it, then I was perfectly fine. But so in normal classes like science and social studies, stuff like that, I just said fuck it, and I either slept in class or whatever, because if I tried skipping school, my mom would she would knock my head off my shoulders. I'm not even joking.
Bruh.
That was
I
not
thought my
going to
mom
fly
was
with
going
her.
to.
I skipped one class with a friend once, and it was only once. I only did it once. So
Man, I will tell you what. When my mother found out that I was skipping class, this was just after the 2-week period. She sat my ass down. She drug tested me. I sat for 2 hours crying and wailing about how she couldn't trust me and that of course I wasn't doing anything. And I mean, she drug tested me and I tested positive for weed. And God bless my fucking mother, because the only thought that she had after that was thank God it wasn't something worse.
yeah.
Because she's fairly open to the idea that if it was legal, then it wouldn't really be all that too terrible. I think that her biggest problem with it is that it's not a legal drug.
Yeah.
And if it's not a legal drug, it's very dangerous, and you can find yourself in a lot of jail time. Sometimes in more jail time than even more severe crimes.
Yeah.
So y'all be fucking careful. If you don't just don't get involved with it. But I mean, I thought that she was gonna demolish me. I was terrified of my mother because my dad passed away when I was younger. So the only parental being I had in my life was my mom. She was my mom, she was my dad, and
Yeah.
she was the absolute judgmentor that was going to send me to fucking hell because of anything bad that I did to deserve it. And I will never forget the day that I had to sit at that dining table the day she found out, with her sitting with a drug test in her hands, demanding that I take it. And I'll tell you why she did that. It wasn't her initial thought. My brother ratted me out and said when I started acting funny in school, I was doing drugs, so you should drug test her. And he full well knew. But I think he was also worried I was into something a lot worse than I was. Thankfully, I still gander myself a very smart person, and I was smart enough to never get involved with anything more than just that. But even that wasn't smart. For those of you listening,
Yeah.
I haven't touched that shit in a long time, and I don't think I ever will again in my life, even if it becomes legal, because it may not seem harmful, but it will fuck your life up.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty
I
good.
mean,
So
This
Yeah.
has been TED Talks with Miki.
there's
Yeah.
a reason why my mom, I mean, there's multiple reasons, but one of the other reasons was, my dad did drugs. He did hard drugs, but he's a kind of a weird person where he was more abusive while he smoked pot. So,
that's weird.
yeah, well, see, I mean, different, I guess, different things happen to different people, and I guess just chemicals in his brain didn't, you know, it just...
Are you sure he didn't drink with it too? Because I don't think I've ever met a soul that smoked pot and got, like, fisty angry.
Well, I mean, he drank, but he didn't really drink much as he did drugs. Like, that's, like, so, you know, I think the nicest he ever was when he was, like, doing crank, because he just wanted to be helpful and build shit. That's all he wanted to do. So, but, I mean, that's one of the many reasons why my mom divorced my dad, and the reason why that he's never been hardly in my life since I was, you know, I mean, he's hardly ever been in my life since I was born. So, you know, like, that's kind of just how it be. So, yeah, like, I understand, you know, some of the medical, you know, properties of it, you know, like, and that's fine, but I don't agree with it, because I've had two people in my life who chose it over me, and I just, like, I just don't, you know, you come over to my house and you do any of that stuff, I'm gonna tell you either you can't do that while you're here or to leave, because I'm not going to have that in my life anymore. It completely ruined my life as a child. So, yeah.
As with any drug, it's not all drugs are meant for all people, but yeah, it's I'd preferably, I guess, you know, and I should slap myself on the wrist since I'm the one who brought the topic up, but I think preferably to kind of stray away from such a topic. And I think I've probably had a couple times where I've said this, the main point is kids don't do drugs.
Yeah, no, that was just basically it. Like, if they didn't, you know, take the word from you of not doing it, you know, at least take the word from someone that dealt with a lot of, you know, hardships because of it. Like, you know, at a very, very young age, dealt with hardships.
And don't think you can go from drugs to alcohol either.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
my
like,
friend,
you know,
my
if you're
friend was
gonna
murdered because of that.
Yeah,
So
like, if you wanna...
Don't think you can get at that out either.
I like, me with alcohol, it's kind of just like, as long as you're not, you know...
Oh my god, he does.
Oh, he does!
Look at Macro, he kind of looks like...
you.
Udio
From
from
Bleach.
Bleach and Lucy from Fairy Tale had a kid. Yeah, I can see it.
Something like that.
Hey, yeah.
But I kind of see like, I don't know, I kind of also see, like, some gray in Juvia, too. And maybe, like,
Wendy.
Gaggio?
Wendy.
Not Gaggio, but,
Levy.
no, fucking, what's his face? He's got, like, 3 of him.
Oh god, Mystican.
Mystican and you know, like, he kind of has, like, Mystican hair color going on, so...
But yeah, you know...
I can't remember his name from Rave Master. Was it Mystican?
I think so.
In Rave Master? It was something, and...
I don't know, but... Yeah, you know, it's one of those things, man, where... I wish high school me knew how much adult me loved science.
Yeah.
Like, legit, science? I hated science in high school. It's my worst subject. Straight up.
I loved science. Oh, I loved science so much. At one point in time, I was so fascinated by science, I actually was... I qualified and had good enough grades to do AP biology. And going into, like, AP classes, which, if you guys don't know what AP classes are, they're basically advanced classes. So if you've shown promise in a grade prior on a particular subject, you could apply to learn an advanced subject instead of going on with normal classes.
Yeah.
I guess I'm the only one.
I loved science.
I guess I'm the only one that hates science.
Well, I mean, you know, the thing is, though, is, like, you know, and looking back at it, I feel like one of the biggest issues that I had, and the reason that high school sucked so much for me, is because they wouldn't let me do the classes that were interesting to me. Like, I wanted to take Japanese. They wouldn't let me take Japanese.
Why?
Yeah, languages are not supposed to be restricted like that.
They wouldn't let me take Japanese. I wanted to. They would not let me.
We didn't have a Japanese class. All we
did
had
they
was
say
French
why?
and Spanish.
Yeah, we don't have a Japanese.
Because they were like, you're just gonna fail. So we're not gonna let you take. You're just gonna fail.
That's not an answer. Where's your proof? Where's your anything?
Yeah, that's a shit fucking response. That's a shit fucking response.
Yeah, no, I wanted to take Japanese. I wanted, you know, all the classes that I wanted to take were all considered, you know, the more difficult classes. And every single one, because I wasn't a good student. I barely passed all my other classes. But it wasn't for lack of knowledge, it's because I was fucking bored. I didn't like them. And so I wanted to take these classes that I had interest in, and every single time they're like, nope, not gonna let you do this. You're just gonna fail.
Well,
so we're gonna.
It's like a privileged position kind of circumstance. If you show an effort and make an effort to do X, Y, and Z, then you've earned the option to do the other pieces.
I fundamentally, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so very clearly, like, they knew I wasn't an idiot. Like, it was very clear with how I wasn't an idiot. I just didn't apply myself, and I didn't like what was there, you know? And so it was one of those things where it's like, I couldn't get anyone, like, no one would give me the chance, like, and I said, I told him as much, like, I don't like these classes, they're boring. You know, it wasn't a case of, like, you know, why aren't you doing well? And I hit him with a stone cold silence. No, I told him, like, I don't like these classes. They're boring. There's nothing to hold my interest, and so I don't like doing any of it. And so it was one of those things where it's like, and then I've expressed no interest in any of these classes that I'm in, but I'm all of a sudden showing interest in a handful of classes, and instead of saying, well, you know what, he hasn't showed interest in this stuff, maybe if he takes a classes that he's actually interested in, it will show an overall improvement across the board. Nope, he's just a fucking idiot. So he's gonna fail these classes, so we're not gonna waste our time on him. Like, fuck you guys.
Devil's advocate side of it, you may not have necessarily been considered as unintelligent. As you said, it's not that they thought you were unintelligent, but you'd proven to them that you weren't putting forth the effort for those classes, and from the sounds of it, you didn't have a class that you were willing to put effort towards. I would bet and probably wager that they didn't want to let you take the class because they didn't think that you would put effort into it.
Then I guess
because you hadn't shown effort into other classes.
Yeah, but don't look at him and say, "Oh, you're basically saying you're too dumb to take this class." Like,
I mean, I don't think that's what they said. You don't have to be intelligent to pass a class. You just need to do the work and put the effort in.
Yeah, but it was one of those things where it was, you know, because it was a lack of interest, and I made that abundantly clear. I'm like, these classes, they're boring. I don't like how they're being taught. It's just not interesting to me. And that was the key thing. So then when I am starting to show interest in something, instead of saying, hey, this is a great opportunity, maybe this will bleed over to his other classes, they just fucking stonewalled me. And it was one of those things where it was like, it just, I don't know, they assigned me into this role of he just doesn't care and nothing will make him care. And left me there, despite to the contrary of me showing interest in a handful of elective classes, and they just wouldn't let me do it. Like they didn't even put like conditions on it, saying, okay, well, hey, we'll let you take these classes, but you have to pass the rest of your classes too. It was just a flat wall no.
Yeah, that's the part where my head starts tilting. Like, he wants X, so make him do work to earn X. Come on.
it starts to lead into other interesting questions on like where was the harm in allowing you to take the class, and it does beg the question, was that because I will go ahead and flat out say Japanese is not a common language to be taught in high schools.
No.
At least not back when we were in high school. So it makes me wonder if the more students that took it, the more expensive it was.
I'm honestly, I'm not sure, but I mean, I know that the Japanese class had several students. Like, it was a very successful class, so much so that they even had foreign exchange programs where our students would go to Japan for a month.
The line out. I remember foreign exchange
You have hit
classes.
the happiest and sore spot of my entire educational career. I took Japanese on my first year of Canadian high school, grade 10. And I put in more effort in that class than the entire rest of the class combined, most certainly. Every single day on the Japanese class, I would stay to the point where I would sometimes miss my bus and have to take the regular bus system to home, doing extra work with the teacher after class. Because this was the hardest thing in the world for me to ever understand. And I loved it. I had a challenge. And after going the entire thing with extra help from the teachers every single Friday, or if not every single day, I bombed completely on Japanese after all that effort. It was the most effort I put into anything in my entire schooling career. And it was just a super obvious flat fail.
Well, I mean, dude, at least you were given the opportunity.
I met Doger.
Yeah, there you go. At least you were given the opportunity, man. Like, I would have.
Of course, I met Doger, and then everything else happened.
Yeah, I would have loved to have even given the opportunity. Like, and you know the worst part though is that the guy who turned me down again. He had it out for me. My counselor in ninth grade.
Again.
No, different guy.
Oh.
I had two counselors in high school. I had my 9th grade counselor and then 10 through 12 counselor. Mr. Trainer was my counselor in 10 through 12. He was a great guy. Love him. Fantastic guy. Super supportive, and he was just happy to see me succeed, and he did everything that he could to help me succeed. And see, he had the right mind of it. But fucking my 9th grade counselor, fucking Mr. Stern. Right? What a fucking name. And he fucking lived up to the name. He was a fucking hard ass.
Anthony, are you aware of what you said with both of them combined?
Stern Trainer.
So the one that didn't let you try was Mr. Stern, and the guy that tried to make you a better person was Mr. Trainer.
Yep. Right?
Continue.
Anyway, so yeah, Mr. Stern, he was a fucking asshole. Like, he had it out for me, and I mean, granted, I was a fucking shitty kid, so I mean, I don't blame him, but you know, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you know, I get it, you know, asshole.
You can't give up on a child, though.
Asshole kid is being asshole, and is now finally showing interest in something that he has not shown interest since he has started 9th grade, and instead of helping the child embrace that, you fucking shoot him down, encouraging said asshole behavior. See the problem?
Yeah, you can't just abandon or stop trying to help a child. That's where you go wrong at a certain point in time. And I mean, it just comes down to the unfortunate fact of that like having people teach like children and teach the like literal youth of the next generation is inadequate, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Because you have people who are going to be subject to emotions like becoming irritated with one particular student and then having that vendetta, and then they lose sight of what their actual responsibility to that student is. And it's not even to the student, it's to the entire future of that generation. Is that if you had put your personal distaste and demise away and actually treated the job with the sincerity that it's meant to have, that child could turn out to be somebody absolutely brilliant. But because you, one fucking asshole, decides that you don't like that student because of something they said, so you're gonna start to treat them differently or be judgmental towards them, you've literally ruined this person's potential to change the world.
So your life was a light novel with lazy naming scheme.
Pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah.
But no, like, and so, like, another thing that Stern did after he had it out for me, so, I was, you know, just like every other high school, there was a no cell phone rule during class, right?
Yeah.
Well, class hadn't even started, and I was getting ready to turn my phone off for my first period study hall that day. And Stern walks up behind me and plucks my cell phone right out of my hand and walks off with it. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? I was turning that off. And he goes, you can get this from me at the end of the day. Like being a fucking dick about it, right? Well, he takes it a step further, okay? First of all, I'm a high school guy, okay? Alright, I had backgrounds on my phone of very curvaceous and busty women. Alright? Now, I had my phone off. I had just turned it off, and that's when he took it. At the end of the day, though, he sits me down. He says, yeah, I don't really think you should be having those type of backgrounds on your phone. And I go, I don't really think you should be going through my phone, especially that it was turned off. Not to mention you had no right in taking it. I was turning it off for the day. Like I'm supposed to. The dude was a real that guy was a fucking Like even my mom, who would normally side with my teachers, was like, yeah, no, this guy's a fucking jackass.
You continue to remind me of like how names are just funny.
Anyways.
Oh, dude, he lived up to the name in every aspect.
I will forego the subject as to say that regarding the incompetency of teachers and the actual, like, literal disappointing fact that is that we have to rely on the whimsicalness of human life to teach other human life will irritate the piss out of me, because I have so many vocal things to say about it. So I actually opt for a subject change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If this keeps going, you're gonna have to get into the very brief but very damaging thing that happened in my elementary school stuff.
Yeah, sorry if I've opened up.
So
some
we're
old
changing
wounds.
the name. We're
No,
changing the
no,
topic
no.
to funny names. Everybody look at the Discord, look at the funny name, and go, "Wow, you picked the best career choice of your entire life, and you are a great man."
All right, hold up. I'm gonna show it on stream real quick.
How did you not laugh?
Food for the poor.
Right there, guys.
He
Look-
is.
look at that.
Robin's not food!
This is the president CEO. At one point, this was the president CEO of Food for the Poor, and it was Robin G. Mahfood. And I do not believe the irony is lost on him, but he gives food for the poor. And that is amazing.
He looks like a good guy.
He looks like a great guy.
But just
I should have story
quickly
time.
touch
Story
on
time.
it.
We've been having nothing.
Last hour.
Yeah, we've had nothing but story time. What are you
God.
talking about?
Lots of story time. We got to hear about high school Mickey, high school Tony, a little bit of high school Darkon, who could barely get a word in because Mickey rants so hard about high school.
It's fine.
Yeah. God.
My rants are not. My high school experiences that are noteworthy are not fun. They are varying degrees of lethal and police. So
Oh.
we don't want to go that route.
Yeah.
I think the only fun, and this is like probably really demented to call it fun, but the only fun, like, outstanding school memory I had was when I got a history teacher fired.
Oh man, nice.
He was a total dick, and he deserved every fucking bit of it. And I will never forget, because this was my sophomore year, and for those of you who have been with us for a while now, my sophomore year was my first year going to this new school where I was very much so not accepted by other people. So for all intents and purposes, I was the white girl who sat in the corner of the class, said nothing, did her work, and left. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't do anything wrong. I never stood out. I never gave myself a reason to stand out. I always did my work. I was the model student. And it was like finals season or something like that. Like, I remember I had a big test coming up, and I actually stayed up quite late studying for the test because I really wanted to pass. Like, I have done several years of summer school, primarily for the same reason, Tony, that you got in-school detention, because I didn't give two flying fucks about the classes enough to do the homework. And that was my big problem, is that it's not that I didn't know the subjects, it's not that I didn't know the materials. I knew them well enough to pass tests and understand them that I didn't see the reason that I had to waste my time at home to do what I was supposed to be learning in school. And that was my logic to it, and I thought homework was the absolute dumbest thing thought up from a Satanistic, like, tribunal fucking cult. Homework to me has never made sense, and it still to this day does not make sense. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
You should separate school and home, because how else do you expect somebody to be able to wind down? You've got these children who are literally going. Anyways, okay. Off topic.
Your pen has stopped.
I'm spiraling. It's fine.
All right, so
I don't care if you spiral. I care if you stop your pen.
So hard stop. No more talks of high school. No more talks of high school.
Good. All of the worst stuff in my life happened in elementary school. Perfect.
Oh, fuck off.
No more school. What
So,
are we talking about?
all right,
I
alright.
tell you guys how I got my history teacher fired.
Oh,
Well, you had your chance, but you started rambling. Can you
I
do it
did.
very fast?
I pulled myself back. Okay, let it be noted that I reeled myself in. Fast. Well, so part of the build-up is the part that makes it the funniest, which is the only reason why I'm okay with bringing this subject up, is because I tell this story like it's a comic skit. So I was the model student, the little white girl who sat in the corner, did her work, didn't say anything, caused no trouble, nothing. I stayed up really late one night to study for a test, and I was so tired the next day that I actually laid my head down, and I kind of drifted off in class. And this was, so in school you have a couple of different period-based systems. Some schools will have all of the subjects in one entire day throughout the whole year. Other schools will do 4 subjects in a day and then switch off during the second semester to cover the other subjects. So it's just basically extending the class into a longer period. My school that I was going to at the time had extended the extended 4-period classes. So my history class fell in line with my lunch period, where halfway through our class we would get up to go to lunch and then return back to history class to continue the lesson. Is everybody following me so far on that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we had come back from lunch, and a couple of students lingered. They were a little bit late, and I mean, to his benefit, it happened all the time where kids were quite frequently late in that fashion. I fell asleep, I laid my head down, my tummy was full of food, I was really tired from staying up studying, I kind of dozed off, but I woke up to him ranting about the fact that none of the students in the class respected him. They all disrespected him, they talked over him, they came to class late, and this, that, and the other, and he was just saying ranting and going off about this whole circumstance, and I kind of sit up and I try to give myself like a minute to gather what's going on. But before I can really wake myself up, I kind of go, can we please get back to class? I just say it kind of like under my breath, and the girl sitting next to me looks at me and she goes, you should say that louder. And Sleepy Mickey went, I should say that louder. Can we get back to class, please? And I had announced it this time. And sure as fuck, I woke up real fast after I said that, because I realized what I had just done. This white girl who sat in the corner of the class, said nothing, did nothing, and was the model student, just stood up to the teacher. And I swear to God, there was about 5 to 6 seconds of absolute silence before the
welcome
started.
Welcome to freaking high school bullshit. Actually do something, you guys, and stop spectating.
And that is when the ooze began. And the ooze got real heavy and deep because nobody expected it from me.
Yeah.
You could have expected it from the girl next to me. You could have expected it from anybody else in that class. But me? Nobody saw that shit coming. And that was where the silence came in, because not only could the teacher not believe it, the other students were like, did that just come out of her mouth? Did that just...
So then, the teacher, being oohed and was already mad, responds with...
So he responded with that it's not his fault that the students were being disrespectful and talking over him in class, and that that the students were disrespectful and coming in late and never respect him, and I cut him off. Because at this point, I'm like, I'm in it now. I'm like deep in this shit. I'm gonna finish this out. And I was like, listen, the students coming to class late have absolutely nothing to do with the level of respect for you. We do respect you. Somebody gets caught up in the bathroom, that's life. That happens. Us being late isn't us attempting to disrespect you. And so it's just kind of, I used to have this whole thing memorized because it was so damn funny the way it went down. But that was essentially to the effects of what I had said. And needless to say, we got back to class, he got back on subject and started to talk again about whatever the subject was. And by the end of the class, I was trying so hard to slip out of the classroom without being noticed. Y'all know I was like trying to duck between people, trying to hide anything to not be called on. And sure shit enough, he looks at me as I'm moving my books and stuff out, and I'm like scurrying around, and he's like, Brewster, because he was a coach and he also liked to call people by their last names. And he called me out by my last name. He said, Brewster, come here for a minute. And I sure as shit thought I was gonna get detention. He thanked me because I had told him that the students respected him and that made him feel better or whatever, something like that. He's just like, thank you for what you said in class. I know, plot twist. Thank you for what you said in class today. I really appreciated what you had to say. I was so fucking confused, but I was just like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, cool.
Did his rage break? He does see, this is still the guy that gets fired, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now you have my attention. Continue.
So, what ends up happening is, I was flabbergasted as it was. I didn't understand his logic. This man was actually thanking me because I just chewed him out in front of everybody, literally displaying the complete opposite of respect for him. But, whatever. I didn't get detention. Cool. I went on and about my day. Well, I'm sorry, I messed up the story. I was not half asleep at this point in time. I actually spoke of my own volition, and I had said it under my breath, and encouraged by the girl next to me, decided to say it louder. It was not until the second time that I was very tired and nearly falling asleep that I woke up to him complaining again. This time, his complaint was that students were talking over him while he was trying to teach. And it honestly had probably been one person, most of the time the students would not talk over him, but there was this one kid in class who just gave no flying fucks. And he was going off about how, again, nobody respects him, this, that, and the other. And it had gotten to a point where he said, I can name at least 12 of you people who are going to go to jail in the future. This was that guy.
Okay.
This was the guy who said that, and that triggered the fuck out of me. Because you don't say shit like that to the students. Absolutely unacceptable. And I told him again. I said, "Can we get back to class? This is unnecessary. Absolutely, in no extent is this necessary for you to be going on about this. Let's get back to class." And he started going off on me, saying, like, it's not my fault that I had to stop class because, you know, you guys can't stop talking over me. And I was like, that wasn't the class talking over you. There was one person who spoke out of line, and you're going on an entire rant, wasting our time and our valuable education opportunity. Let's get back to class. And this time, I did not get a thank you after class. As a matter of fact, he ran away from me in the way that I ran away from him the first time, and it was because I lingered. I now had a bone to pick because of what he had said, and it was so very not okay. And I was gonna tell him just as much that what he said was not okay. So I lingered and I gathered my books slowly, and I was going to be at least enough respectful to wait for him to get out of, like, for the other students to get out of the classroom before I shredded him a fucking new one. And when all of the other students were out of the class, I approached and I can't remember what his name was. What was it? I think it was like Coach Silver or something like that. Like, he actually had a very cool name, and it's unfortunate because he was a very good-looking guy too. He was all of the girls' favorite teacher.
Okay, Coach Silver, how's he get fired? How'd you whip him?
All right, so yeah, Coach Silver. We're just gonna go with that. So his name is Coach Silver. So I walked up to his desk and I said, "Coach Silver, I need to talk to you." And he said, "Not now, Brewster," or something to that effect. And he left the room. So he's like, "Okay, all right, you know, fine. It's not like I can hold a man here against his will. We will have to talk about it later." And I buried it. I was like, I put it down, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna seek problems until I got into the hallway. And into the hallway, this is now just how I burned him. Into the hallway, I walk out, and he's standing next to a couple of other coaches, and as I walk past, I hear him recounting the story, only in the way that would befit him.
Yeah.
So he's telling these coaches, you know, I just had to like, I was getting on to my students for talking over me, and I just had to, like, get on to a student, you know, for talking over me. And, like, I heard him referring to me without name to these other coaches as if he were in the right, as if, like, his rant was acceptable, that he had to stop class because students were talking over him. And I dead fucking stopped in the middle of the hallway in front of two of the other coaches and his friends who were senior to him and other teachers. He dipped into somebody else's room. It wasn't even his own room. It was one of the other coaches' rooms. And I laid it out. And I was like, no, quite frankly, I had to stop him from going on an absolute rant because one student spoke over him and he had to go and so forth. And so the way that it was described to me by one of my friends was, at that very moment, I ripped his balls off and presented them to his friends. Fantastic. That's the end of that story. The bottom line is that I went to the
That
counselor.
got him. Okay, sorry.
No, the bottom line is I went to the counselor after that, and I told the counselor what he had said and all of that he had done during the classes, and got him fired after very satisfyingly burning the fuck out of him.
Yep.
Nice. All right, so real quick before we move on to the next thing, so I just got an email from YouTube, And I just want to share these numbers real quick, because this was from last month. Last 30 days, guys. Look at that.
Oh, it's
Look
on the screen.
at those numbers. Holy crap.
Nani.
Ah, gotta go grab the screen.
In the last 30 days. That's crazy.
Can you verbalize?
Oh! Could you just do a sound off for Sam, because she can't see us.
So, in the last 30 days, we have gained 1,584 subscribers, 316,465 views, 2,166,768 minutes watched, 11,600 likes, 5,245 comments, 6,631 posts, and 325 shares of our content in the last 30 days.
That sounds really good.
That's incredible. Like, the fucking million part kind of threw me off. Was not expecting that. That's insane.
I wonder if it includes the live streams.
Yeah,
Of course it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. So,
So now we can get off of the school topic.
yes. Yeah, I have already queued up the next topic. I need you, because this is how my brain goes, to throw up every single one of the characters' names that we've done and going to do. Just go bring up wherever that document is. Put up everyone's name, and I'm going to do Lily's introduction of that person
Oh boy.
for every character.
You want me to do that, or
No, that's what
I
he's doing.
know Lily's responses.
I meant as in throwing up the characters' names. I'm assuming that you want Tony to do that.
I want you to keep penning.
Yep. No, Darkon, you're just gonna pull up the names yourself, right?
Yeah, if I can find the thing, where is it? It should
Okay.
just be.
I thought it was in the Google Drive.
It is in the drive. I'm trying to find it.
So
Check. Character descriptions and yada yada. I believe this is the one. Doesn't look like it. Why does this look empty? Main character descriptions? There it is.
okay.
I found it. I just realized I have to do this without giving spoilers. This will be a little harder.
Yeah, a little bit.
No. Well, while you think about that, I don't think that I have heard anything out of chat in a little while.
Well, that's
Has there
'cause
been anything to
Chat
share?
went pretty quiet on the final rant.
Yeah.
Ooh.
With the exception of what a dick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
I'm gonna hopefully take that as everybody was just quietly listening to me because I yelled at a teacher for
Yep.
ranting.
Pretty much, yeah, yeah.
There's not much to comment on other than, yeah, we've been through this for the last 2 hours. Everything sucks.
Yep.
I got fired.
Yep.
Sayo. Damn it, on one regard, my head just went, like, makes the good food and is nice. Like, no, it's Lily! There's more adorbs to this. But it's also ad-libbing.
Do you regret?
Rookie number. Salty, come on. We gotta get them. Okay, now Salty's thinking the right way. Those are rookie numbers. We need to get those numbers up. Yeah. So Sayo. Lily would go something along the lines of. Yeah, he's best friend. He's around all the time. He makes me all the yummy foods. And he helps out a lot. He helps out a lot of people. People get stressed out, and Sayo wants to help, and that's nice. What? What was that?
Oh, my hand is dying.
Okay.
We'll tell it to
I
stop,
was
because
about to
dying
say,
isn't
I'm
good for your
stressing
health.
myself out. I'm stressing myself out ad-libbing, and you go, oh god, and the first one I do, stress, they don't like my work,
Oh
panic.
no! I I'm dying because my hand
Yeah.
is like.
Yeah, I gathered that after the fact.
My
Tetra is weird. Like, I feel, like, safe around her, but she's really scary. But that also makes her safe. I don't really know how to put it.
Scary.
Is she dying?
Safe and scary.
Well, I don't know.
Hey, Darkon, if you want,
Parents are scary.
I can do Volcus for you.
Did I draw the cardigan on the shoes layer? I sure did.
Well, maybe your cardigan has shoes. What did I say? Wait, what did I say? I just had a go to drunk bed, you're high moment.
Yeah.
Does you? Well, maybe your
cardigan has shoes. There you go.
Ooh, that's a bad one. Wrong order.
But yeah,
Yeah,
Lily
the
just
same thing that like parents are scary. Parents can do anything to you, but because they can do anything, that also means that they can protect you from anything. It's Tetra. She's really scary. She's really scary, but she's also really nice, and she's kind of both. And if you want to do Volcus, go ahead. What is Volcus?
Nope.
Nope.
There you go.
Yeah. So who's that? That's Volcus. What's Volcus like?
Nope.
Pass.
Pass.
So Tucker, I guess this is what it's like to have a younger brother. He's always annoying, always poking things and stuff and annoying everybody. Ugh. So yeah, not really a fond perspective with Tucker. He thinks the fun thing to do with Lily is to play with her and do, I don't know, just generic dumb stuff. I wonder if they'll ever see eye to eye. Jin. The first thing that she says is she looks at Jin and then turns away and can't look at him again. I like Jin. Jin's nice. Everything should go right for Jin ever. I'm going to make things right for Jin ever. Okay. Extreme girl crush activate, probably.
Yep.
So there's one that's very real and that will happen very fast. That's not a spoiler. That happens right away.
It does, yeah.
You have person save you. And they like you. I like Iseo. You helped me out. I like Tetra. She helped me out. Jin also did a thing. Be nice. What did Volcus do? Nothing. What did Tucker do? Annoy me. Macro. Macro's fun to play with.
Instructions unclear.
We play the best games. like, why does 2 + 2 equal fish? And also, the ceiling is now on fire. Also, I was lying about the ceiling on fire. That's my favorite game. What? Leave Macro alone.
Yeah.
Hey Macro, what happens? You press every single button on the keyboard at the same time. And then the computer just makes the error sound. Look, Macro, I can make it sing.
Fucking the name of their game is Instructions Unclear.
Yeah. Lisette. That's a good one. I don't know if this is a spoiler for Anthony. But first initial the initial reaction with every character is, oh no, new person, go away, can't handle this. For Lisette, it would probably be where she would probably see Tucker as like a younger brother that's just annoying her all the time. She'd probably see Lisette as like same age group friend person. yeah, let's just go have fun and hang out. And do just random girl things, because what else do I have to do around here? So yeah, she's definitely the type who's like, oh no, it's Lisette and Lily hung out again. They're gonna come out and all their nails are gonna be done in different things. What's this button do? Yeah, that's a good one. Himika! Initial response. Oh no. They have the same last name. Jin's married. Don't know how to handle this. Eep. Immediate response after that is, I don't know, the type of jealousy that would only make sense in a child brain, because what do you mean? What are you going on about? This doesn't make sense. But you were with Jin forever. I wasn't. I don't like that. Okay? So in other words, they're gonna get along just fine. Welcome to fun things. Dolus, don't know if she would ever really meet him, but
most definitely not.
very well dressed, well kept, makes good tea.
Yeah.
I don't think Dolus would drop his charade if Lily was around. So he's just a very upstanding citizen man person.
Yep.
Gotta bring me the ball.
He would not take the mask off, as it were.
Blackhand, absolute best friend. Do all the hijinks together. Go get ice cream. All the fun.
Note to self.
Laugh,
Keep
I love
her
laugh.
keep her away from Jin. She likes Jin. I like Jin.
Yeah. This would be like the act.
This is romantic rival.
Wow. Do you have any idea how much I have to try and find any way for this to happen now? Even though it really shouldn't. What's the Lily ship list? Oh, that's my favorite. I can absolutely go with this one, because this is her talking and not me, and I am very good at keeping all of that separate. So, Lily definitely wants Haseo and Tetra to stop hating each other at all times. Haseo made a bad, and it made Tetra very angry, but Haseo's sorry and he's trying to fix it. So please stop fighting. So I don't know if that counts as a ship, but welcome to Child Brain.
He makes the food. How can you be angry with him?
Mm-hmm. I don't think she would ship Vulcus with anybody. Vulcus is mean.
Yeah.
Or at least he's kind of too scary to be like, are you sure? That doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah, no, fucking, I can imagine, like, someone mentioned this, and then Lisette hears Lily's interpretation of who should pair off, and she goes, and I should pair off with Vulcus, right? And she's like,
No.
No.
You deserve better.
Oh, bad.
No. Why would you want to pair with him? He's scary.
In the same vein, she wants Tucker to stop pairing himself with everybody. Because that's not how this works. And then Tucker just looks at him and is like, no, you'll understand when you're older. And then she's gonna immediately respond with, I guess you'll understand when you're older.
Tucker's gonna be like, what is that?
You haven't picked up on how this works yet.
Tucker's like, wait, what does that mean?
And the sad thing is, she's right. Jin? I'm not saying. What do you mean you're not saying? Oh, I have one. I'm not saying it. Oh, wait. I'm keeping that one for myself. Macro should marry the computer. What?
Macro and that penguin seem to get along really well.
Yes. Wait. Does Macro have a Linux penguin?
No, he doesn't.
Why not?
Because remember their first introduction to the fucking penguin thing was when Tucker was like, "All right, I'm at the computer," and Macro's like, "All right, walk me through what you're seeing." He's like,
No. Okay, so Macro will get a penguin eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Okay, Toast and the penguin.
Toast and the
Aw.
penguin. Oh my god. Oh, that's right.
So at first it goes Macro and the Penguin, then she goes Toast and the Penguin, and then she realizes what she's done and go, oh, hey, look, I've made a problem, but the problem is real and you guys are just mad.
I actually forgot about something, because you know how we were joking how, like, oh, Black Hand is a romantic rival for Jin. Well, Macro has a thing for Jin too, so...
Oh, right. Well, I hate one, no spoilers. 2,
That wasn't
no, it's not a spoiler. 2, it's not a spoiler. We talked about this often. 3,
Yeah.
This is Lily's perspective. So if she doesn't pick up on cues, then that's that.
I didn't know that Macro had a thing for Jen.
Yep.
That was what I meant by no spoilers.
It's technically not a spoiler, though. We've mentioned that.
Yes, but not to her.
Yeah,
my.
Macro...
What do you mean, oh no?
Macro
I
swing
didn't say oh no, I said oh my.
Yeah, Macro swing both ways.
Lisette, Lily, at this point, Lily goes like, does it have to be, at this point, she's starting to understand the concept and going, wait, it doesn't really have to be one side, does it? Yeah, Lisette's clearly chipped with the Vulcus, but like the arrow's one direction, and it's like, it's just not happening. I'm sorry to break it to you. Himika. Himika's not on the chart because Lily knows that Himika would be uncomfortable with this idea. And Himika brings that up, and then Lily replies with such.
Himika,
if you want to be on the chart, I'll do it, but I'm not going to do it until you say yes.
No. Himika's paired with the punching bag.
That would probably be the result after the fact, yeah.
Yeah, very clearly.
This is fine. This is harmless. What would you pair me with? And then she just says the punching bag, and then it just moves on. Well, she's just like, what?
It's like you're always in the
have a
gym.
moment, then it just ends with punching bag. God, why are you doing this to me? I can see the whole thing playing out. And it's just like, she's not on the list. Himika asked, why am I not on the list? Because you would be uncomfortable with this, so I didn't want to do it.
Oh my god,
like,
Molly!
Is it okay?
Who would she pair with
Molly? Yes, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. This
Everyone.
Is harmless. Okay, you're with the punching bag.
Darkon.
What?
Molly.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
So...
No, it's okay, it's okay.
They said everyone. Do I have to put Dolus and the Black Hand in here, even though this makes no sense?
In a moment. Goldshot, no, dude, the punching bag's a sadist. It's okay. They're in, or not a sadist, a masochist. They're into that. So, anyway, please continue.
The Himika ship is... yeah. She doesn't do anything to that punching bag that the punching bag didn't want. Yep. That is a sentence that came out of my mouth.
It is. The punching bag is all into that.
Are you okay? Am I slowly killing you, Mickey?
Oh, no, yeah, I'm fine.
It sounded like you were sighing into the microphone.
Okay, no, she's vaping or whatever.
Oh.
I am.
You didn't say who she put the Black Hand with. I'm working on that because, like, they shouldn't ever meet. This gets tricky. Molly, damn it.
Everybody.
You know what? She'd almost probably just be like, I have no idea. Everyone. And then she's just like, yes, I'm okay with this. I will love you all and make you all better. I don't like how she said better.
So, actually, you know what? Fun fact about Molly. Molly is the one woman on the team that Tucker actively tries to avoid sleeping with.
Damn.
Cause Molly fucking cray-cray, as he...
She pairs Molly in the Black Hand.
Oh god.
Why? Because you're both crazy and I love you.
Crazy squared.
Yes. Because you're crazy and she's crazy, and that's good, and that's a good thing, right? You know what? You know what? And then when she gets to Dulles, she goes, "Oh, well, that's right, I can do that." Dulles and Volcus are getting paired. Yep.
Also, Miki, remember to save.
Ooh, it's been a while.
I
Nice.
don't know why that makes so much sense in my brain for her to do. Oh, that's horrible.
Oh my god, though. Yeah, no, Molly is is kind of the other way around. You know, Molly, she'll see, you know, like again, she's purely academic and she's all about her science, but she's also like the type that understands the whole biology side of things. So she fucking looks at Tucker and she's like, "Hey, Tucker, I have an itch that needs scratching. You're helping me out with that." And Tucker's like, "Oh no, not again."
That or Lily will pair it with Tucker, specifically because Tucker does not want that.
Frickin' Tucker, man. Frickin' Molly.
And then later down the line, where Tucker stops being as much of an ass, but she hasn't picked up on the prompts of the other thing happening yet. She is probably going to jokingly say like, "Oh wow, you and Tetra have been childhood friends. Hey, you should know." I don't know where you got this idea from. Oh man, that is a big vape into my thing.
So when you
got this idea from, but no.
When you say she, I assume you're talking about Lily, or are you talking about Molly?
What?
You
Mickey did.
No. You said later in the story, she doesn't pick up on the cues. Who is she? Who is not picking up on the cues?
Lily's not picking up on the cues of something that is.
Okay,
spoilers,
no.
and I'm not.
I'm not asking for what the cues are. I just didn't know who you're referring to that wasn't picking up.
Lily's child.
Okay.
Things that are actually subtle are going to be lost on children. And I guess maybe not subtle, but very contrived would be the answer. But yeah.
Oh my god. Very loud.
Wait, what?
I love your Darth Vader.
Oh.
Yeah.
Must be the new mic, because I don't think I've changed how I vape.
You have not, but remember, if you haven't gone through the steps on background noise checking with Discord, your Discord audio pickup is still set to nothing.
Yeah, it sounds like really large, just a large amount of static when yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like you're blowing directly into it.
So at some point, I'm gonna have to. This is such a weird sentence. At some point, I'm gonna have to ask you to vape at your mic, and then we'll do it the way you normally do it, and then we'll adjust the settings accordingly. Because this is particularly my fault. This is the leftovers of me telling you to take the input sensitivity and zero it out.
Oh, is that what the issue is? Here.
Yeah. So if you bring up input sensitivity and then do it the way you normally do it, find it, see how far the bar goes up, and then adjust it to where it was, and put it a little further.
Just now?
Oh no, right there. All right, so you already did something.
Things work.
Okay.
I just needed to know what was wrong, like what was the problem causer, and.
Do not vape, it puts holes in plugs.
So, fun fact about why I vape. I smoked cigarettes for a really long time, and I tried to quit a lot. And for those of you who have never smoked a cigarette a day in your life, don't ever fucking do it, because it is a disgusting, disgusting, nasty habit, and it is incredibly hard to quit. And one of the only things that actually stuck when I attempted to quit was vaping as an alternative. Because I lead kind of a high pressure, high stress life. I may seem like all sunshine and rainbows on the outside, mostly on the inside too, but there's a lot in life that I have, that I juggle, that I do. So, yeah, not the best of choices, but better than the alternative. So, there's that.
Huh.
And quitting smoking cigarettes is really tough.
Oh, fuck.
These pants are destroying my hand.
What? Out of curiosity, why is that?
Probably because they have more substance and a lot more like wrinkles and stuff, because they're the exaggerated clothing of and the bagginess kind of has to be represented.
Huh.
And the best way to do that is with the wrinkles.
Okay.
So, for instance, see on this leg over here, his left leg right to what we're currently seeing. This one. I am waiting for a small amount of acknowledgement from
Yeah. Sorry. Yes, please.
Okay.
I had a really long yawn. I apologize.
It's fine. But I was like, I don't know if I should proceed.
All the precision.
I mean, as you can see, like, a lot of the wrinkles and a lot of the exaggeratedness of the bagginess around his ankles is not actually defined by the line art, but actually by the color itself.
Yep.
Like,
Now,
you zoom out, and you look at all that all the baggage, and then you take away the image, it still looks baggy, but
It looks like one or two folds, or it's just too long. Yeah, you don't see as many. You don't get to see how crinkled it is.
exactly.
Crinkled? Is that a word?
Yeah. Type of fry. So that's why it is killing. Also, because it's more surface area than the normal pants that are like tight. So it's got a lot more substance here to it. Oh jeez. That's close. So it's just got a little more effort going into it.
Woohoo. 3 hours in, we finally talked about something art related in the art stream.
About feet and my ability to draw them counts, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, yep, I'm wrong. Okay, yep.
Ooh.
Oh, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Alright. What would happen if someone abridged check?
Oh lord.
I don't know in what way. If you mean abridged check for like a cover to try and just like upload our work faster. I don't know. What would a bridging check even like look like?
I feel like it has the potential to be really funny because although through all of the jokes and everything that we make, it's going to be a fairly serious storyline, right? So it has the...
Right. This was actually an idea that I pitched at Anthony. It made no sense because it's not an abridged, but that was actually something I pitched towards them. I said we should make all the comedy skits that aren't possible. We should make a side manga on those if we have enough like the funding to do it. Like just for Coma our own work, and we'll just call it Check Abridged. And then we can do all of our jokes there.
And I think it would be pretty funny to be abridged. It would be interesting if we abridged our own work.
Is it bad that I could see it? Is it bad that I could actually see taking the immense, extreme tragedy that is what this show will become, and make it go very fast, and make it be funny just because of how fast it's going? Because a lot of the times that's all you need for Abridged. You just do the show the normal, real way, but you just make it fast, and you just like skim over all the parts and go. The booking sign. So this is just the raw text. This is not formatted or anything.
That's the NDA right there.
The final NDA?
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-all.
Okay. Where do they put their signature, and how do we keep their signature on record?
We send this to them, they sign it, and then send it back to us, and I keep a folder of it.
Okay.
I also have an email version of it, if signing is not possible.
Well, they could just, like, put it into, like, Paint, and then sign it that way.
Yeah.
I can't believe you just said that I would put something into Paint to sign it.
Not you, but somebody who doesn't have any artistic tools on their computer.
You can see how that's amusing to me, though.
Yes, you're not going to use Paint, you're going to use Adobe Photoshop, right?
No. Bad joke.
Damn!
Bad joke on a bad joke.
Damn it.
Just kidding.
Wait, what? If every sub donates 25 cents, you would have 12.975. May I ask how you got a third decimal place from quarters? I don't think the 9 is supposed to be there.
I'm sad that there hasn't been a single comment on the shoes yet.
Well, I kind of told you, like, I didn't really know what they were until you really pointed it out.
No, but even if you don't know the name of it, everybody still knows. Everybody's seen these that was ever born in the 90s. Wonder if that just says something about our demographic.
Yeah, and I was 1992, so if I saw it,
The fuck?
it wasn't long till. Nah, it wasn't long until that wasn't a thing. Oh, I am upset. I found it, Anthony. Now I find it. Oh, I'm mad. I'm uploading this to the doc just in case. Why do I have to find it now?
There we go.
Alright, I have ripperonis for the purpose of it now, but I have the reference NDA. Look at how professional that thing looks, Anthony. It's in the doc. It's in its own.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't. Where am I supposed to be looking?
The folder named Dark on NDA. Look at that. That was clearly written by real lawyers. Look,
That's sarcasm.
I don't see this anywhere. Where is this?
it's finished uploading. Under the check. Wait, is this the wrong one? No. There's the episode, scene and ideas, concept art. In the root folder of the check.
You have to. Okay, no. You have to make it so that I can. There it is. All right.
No. I didn't. I don't have to do nothing. Anything in the
found it.
folder is automatically set for you to see it.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
fucking stupid
No,
Google Drive.
No, that's not. That's how computers work. If you haven't reset your cache yet or received an update.
No, but
yet,
I
you won't
did.
see it.
I control F5 and it wasn't showing up.
Ooh, that's weird. Well, yeah, look at that. It has whereases and now therefore, and look at all this. It's 9 pages long. A lawyer wrote this one, man.
Oh, absolutely. That's ridiculous.
This is what I was referring to on Welcome to NDA.
Yeah, no, we're not.
Welcome to law.
We don't need to go that deep. We don't need to go that deep.
Show you can again. This is in the doc and has the same permission.
Nope,
You
I'm
can
not gonna show that on stream.
No, do not show my NDA on screen. Are you kidding me? That's my NDA. I was telling you to send that to Buddy Friend who wrote the actual NDA, and go Ripperoni's too late. But here's the here we finally found the reference. If you want to see this thing.
That's not necessary. Not necessary.
Board of Governors, insert name and institution, and client name underline here thereafter referred to as user. Oh man.
What kind of fucking
Now
word vomit
that's
is
an
that?
NDA.
That is some fucking word vomit right there.
Uh-huh.
I
Oh,
literally look at
this
documents
NDA
like that all day
this
long.
NDA actually does not have names. This is just a generic template NDA for Nate. So it actually would be safe for you to put this on. But don't. But it would be, but don't.
So, at what point, Darkon, are you gonna finally remember Cody's name?
Damn.
Oh, I was completely unaware that he was the one sent to do the writing.
Yep. Well,
You
I
can
mean,
do that.
That was not a lack of name. That was a lack of knowing who was in charge of
but even Miki knew that.
Shows how much I was paying attention, Rip.
Big oofs. Big oofs.
So yeah, Cody, if you're bored and you're here for whatever reason, the actual the super NDA is in the thing for reference.
He's in the chat. He can hear you. What do
I'm
I need
literally
to?
so touched that Cody joins us on the chat on these. I really am.
What do I need to do to convince you that Lily needs Heelys? Oh, definitely everyone agrees that Lily needs Heelys. It's just, you have to get them while the world's trying to murder you. So, we'll work on that.
Yeah, but no, Cody joins us for all of them. In fact, he actually went back. He went back and rewatched the Haseo stream.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he went back and rewatched the Haseo drawing stream. So,
I
Yep.
mean, my feels are here. Like I'm touched.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, there is one thing I actually want to carry over. What? Control-Shift-T doesn't work. Why?
oh, excuse me. Oh my god.
Delicious.
Oh,
Absolutely
Oh.
flawless.
I'm so sorry
No
about that.
Problems whatsoever.
I don't know where that came from. It just came out of nowhere. Oh my god. I am so sorry about that.
These shoes just take me so far back in life.
So does this still work? Damn it.
By the way, Miki, you and I
format this.
you and I'll have to get
We'll do it the lazy way.
Miki.
Yes?
You and I will have to get into a call to figure out some outfit ideas for Lisette, because I know that we're kind of we were kind of split on that, trying to figure that out. Oh yeah, also remember to save.
Does that look reasonable for spacing? Under the sign NDA, the one that we're using.
Yeah.
It says sign below, but it doesn't say where, and that bugged me.
Yeah, I'll
So then you can type your name out and or signature, and then that's like double confirmed we're good. Because I don't remember if I had to do that for my capstone, but any time that was any less immediate, I had to do exactly that.
there we go. All right, now I've got that it updated.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay, yeah. In case people don't have access to the doc.
Yep.
Was that my fault?
When do we get a 4 coma of Lily messing with the crew? What does that mean?
Yeah. So that's what I was already talking about. We could have our own spin-off manga in a 4 coma style, and it would just be gags all the time that we couldn't do in the show that makes anything. On the alternative,
Kind of like in a Ruby.
If we don't do a full 4 coma ensemble, we'll probably do a 4 coma at the end of every not immediately stressful chapter part.
Yeah, kind of
And then
like
it'll
in
just be little random fun things.
kind of like in a Ruby Chibi style almost.
Yeah. So 4 coma just means 4 panels.
Okay.
If
Empire.
you've ever seen them,
I have the videos saved to watch later. I have not gotten the opportunity to sit down and give them the attention they deserve, so I apologize.
What?
Yeah. What?
Empire sent me some Isaac videos for
Okay.
it's science stuff.
Okay. Because science is science.
Yeah.
Well,
One of my
just,
favorite science.
just be aware that one thing with science is every now and again, it hasn't happened in a long time, but every now and again we look at things and go, oh, it actually works like X. So definitely expect certain things to be incorrect because we learnt the real way how it works.
Yep.
Quote unquote.
Go ahead
And
and
expect me to use that a lot for how I bullshit away a lot of this genetic stuff.
yeah. Anyway, Miki, you were saying something?
I was going to say that one of my favorite science channels to watch on the YouTubes, if you're interested in that sort of thing, is Red Nile. It's a guy who does all of these like crazy wild experiments and like creates a lot of things from like scratch. So it's just like really nifty to watch his experiments. Like sometimes I go to, this is gonna sound really weird, but sometimes I go to bed watching his videos because science is comforting and excellent, and I love science. But it's not a I go to bed to it because it bores me. It's a I watch it before I go to sleep because it's got a very calming, like nice effect to it. But anyways, so yeah, if you're interested in the sciencey things, that is
Goldshot,
channel.
sorry, but you're wrong. Color blindness comes down to the genetics of how your eye is made. So color blindness, if you master genetics, you can fix it. That's just how that works.
Yep. Unfortunately, we have all the tools to do it, but that doesn't mean we have the practice to do it. So, what's worse than having AIDS? Well, having your DNA be absolutely annihilated in an attempt to fix AIDS.
Right?
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. So now you have genetic AIDS.
Oof.
Whatever that even means.
CRISPR AIDS is probably what it would be called.
Magenta is an actual color. Brains are made up of it. Yeah, I knew it was a color. I guess the brain is magenta. Yeah.
Huh.
Theory is that magenta is not an actual color, and that your brain makes up this color in order to make up for the gap between
Oh, okay.
two colors. That right now I'd have to think way too hard to remember which is which. I think it's like red and blue.
Hey,
Yeah.
Cody's already seeing the first thing that we did with like conquering genetics.
Yep.
Color blindness, go away.
Yep. But wait. So if brains are magenta, why do they call it gray matter?
What was
Check
it?
and
I thought
mate.
brains actually. I was gonna say brains aren't actually magenta. You may have that color because of the blood that flows through them, but if you were to take a brain and truly like,
Yeah,
you
it's
know-
gray if you drain everything.
yeah, right, exactly. So it's the same like stipulation of, oh well, why is your blood red when it bleeds out, but blue when you look at the veins? It's because it hasn't been exposed to oxygen, and that's stuff and things. Although, from what I understood, I heard that they came out and said that blood is actually still technically red in new science or something. I don't know anymore. But I mean, that's one of the cool things about science too. Is like in science, it's most things can't be said for definite. There are a lot of things in which we stated as like fact that actually turned out to be incorrect and different, and we found out and discovered that later down the line.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's very intriguing. So I truthfully never look at anything scientific and say that this is like without a shadow of a doubt like absolute.
There's gonna be someone on this planet because of his makeup that will have colorblind, that we will find a way to cure his colorblindness 100%. And then there's gonna be another guy right next to him that because of his makeup, his colorblindness will never be 100% gone, no matter how much we rack our brains over it. Because welcome to how complicated and how different everything really is.
It's
What
actually
was it? What was my favorite guy? There is a male. He has the male parts. Biologically, male parts, all male. His phenotype is female. And a no problem, no weird jank female. So what is he? His male parts work and he can have kids. And his phenotype is regular, normal, correctly functioning female.
I'm quite curious
What?
to know
How does that happen?
what they identify as.
Yeah.
Like
how does,
what
how does that even
themselves,
happen?
what their gender identity would be.
If you say something is 100% impossible, you can't have a female, you cannot have a person with the correct genetic female phenotype be biologically male, that was a sentence that was true at one point, and now it's not, because that guy's whoever you identify as is one of the most documented cases I've ever seen, because that's just bonkers.
So it's that level of complexity where it's, nothing is ever simple thing, is why it's so difficult for people to accurately recreate this drug that the Luna has a stranglehold on. And so that's why when they finally get a hold of Haseo and his matched drug, it's such a gold mine in terms of knowledge for them, and why it's such a huge deal.
Fuck baggy clothes, man. I mean, granted, I know I'm the one that did this to myself, but ugh. We're almost done, though.
Yeah. There's are we ever going to 100% cure 100% of everything 100% of the time? No, that's not happening. You are completely correct on that, Goldshot.
Yep.
There's too many things, and humanity is just whatever destiny. We're never gonna get 100%. There will be cases of being completely cured, and there will be cases where they don't understand why they can't be completely cured. It is never the fun thing about Czech that we decided from the very beginning was that if real life thinks it has absolutes but they really don't exist, then neither will we. Anything in this medical mess is always going to be, but there are exceptions, and those exceptions are real regardless of how much you don't want them to be.
Yep.
There will be people in Czech, after all the work of all these centuries, who are born fertile. And that is going to drive the government crazy. That it's going to
Nature
happen.
will always find a way.
It's going to happen. Regardless of the fact that the entire premise is that this can't happen, it will happen regardless, because welcome to real life.
I mean, you literally, yeah, you can't actually stop evolution. It's you may have been created one way, your race may be dictated to be a certain way. However, as far as evolution is concerned, it's got a couple middle fingers in the air because it doesn't give a goddamn.
Congratulations. If you turned it off, that means it can be turned on. And if you mutate in the exact same way that it turns on is on.
Yep. You know, actually, now that I think about it, maybe we could have that be the case for Tucker's mother.
Yep. Because we definitely need someone to represent the angle. Because, yeah, I love that so much. Just the whole the biggest thing for a lot of stories is I couldn't get into it because X was too far, it's too unrealistic, it's too unscientific. And then we look at every single instance of those and go, but there's a character over here that also is what you just said. It's both. It's always both. And I think that's a good compromise to handle that problem on, should it be this way? Could this actually happen? We'll have both. Always have both. Both is the hard
You know, people always looking for absolutes and a black and whites and a world of grays.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then there are going to be critics. I can't wait for that to happen, where there's going to be a critic that's going to be, I don't like the idea that they said 100% of the population can't have kids, because there's no way our biology would allow that. You are correct. And that's in the story, because it's not 100%. So, oh, those are gonna be fun. We're actually we might get a follower base to go, but actually, just monocle. What you're saying is actually in the story as is. So what's your problem?
Okay, comic book nerd. I don't actually know the Simpson guy name. You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
Wait, was I doing a Simpson thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
kinda.
were.
I was just doing a skit. I pulled that out of my ass.
I'd be very concerned if you pulled a comic book nerd out of your ass.
Yeah, he's the guy
What
who
did
owns
we
the
say
comic book
about
store in
absolutes?
So, what's left to add, Miki?
The thing that I chose to decide to do at the end because I hate myself.
Oh no, the Fletch or whatever it's called.
I've decided to go with something a little more simplistic because God bless my
Good.
soul.
Good. You have half an hour. Would you look at that? Miki's not going maximum over extra. What did we talk about absolutes? It's happening right here. That is also not a challenge.
I don't know,
I want
man.
to make that.
Sounded a little bit like a challenge to me. I can make it work.
I want to make this abundantly
I'll be
clear
right back.
that was not a challenge.
We're gonna do a little flare here. Can't be perfectly straight lines. It makes sense.
I mean, damn. There are certain cats in the world that are allergic to humans.
Oh Jesus
Like
fucking
anything can happen. Things can go wrong in bizarre and fascinating ways.
Yep, I mean, you know,
swear,
look
the
at
second thing after psychology would be biology for me.
I mean, look at them discovering warm-blooded fish, for God's sake.
Yeah, where was that again? There. Was it? I think it was specifically like there was warm-blooded fish, but it was saltwater or freshwater. There was one of the two that there's only one.
Gravity isn't always an absolute. Look at
Yeah,
space.
Opa.
You know, in space, gravity isn't a thing. So no, even gravity isn't an absolute.
different altitudes, gravity affects differently. You go deep into the sea, you get fucking crushed. You go high up into the sky, it's a little bit lighter.
I think you get crushed in the sea from water pressure. But I see you're an
water pressure.
Oh, no, you're right. Yep.
Alright.
Water pressure is entirely gravity. How else would that?
Have we learned not to question Mickey yet?
Nope.
Wow.
What did we say about absolute?
Yup.
Yeah, but I only speak in absolutes because I'm a fucking Sith Lord. Asshole.
Well, okay, so it depends on where you're going with on absolutes. Do I currently exist? Yes? But, yeah, there's, it all depends on, like, how, at what point are we going with absolutes? Because we're talking about biology, nature doing its thing, really broad topics of a lot of moving parts. If you talk about is the speed of light X, or is gravity exist? That's a sentence. Is gravity exist?
Yes.
Like
Did
those
you
are
know
absolutes.
is Bruno Mars gay or something?
Does Bruno Mars is gay?
Yeah, that's what it is.
But yeah, gravity exists? Yes, no. That has absolutes. Of course it does. So, yeah, we're talking about macro physics and the multiple moving part stuff.
Y'all, Cody is precious.
What do you say now?
They are a precious being, and I appreciate them.
What did Cody say this time? What did I miss? What happened?
Cody just said I was doing a good job,
Oh.
No.
so I decided to out them.
Yeah, Cody's a sweetheart.
Never mind, you were right. There is only one. And we didn't know about it until 2015. The warm-blooded fish. I remember when that happened. You and I freaked out, and we came up with so many check things that day.
Wait, what?
The warm-blooded fish
Oh, yeah.
came out. We only found it in 2015. I remember 2015 and the check conversation that followed.
Yep, I lost my shit because that was an item off of my bucket list, and that was witnessing evolution in my lifetime.
Yep. Either it was genuine evolution that happened within your lifespan, and or it's evolution that was at the very least undiscovered by everyone ever until 2015. Same difference.
Yep.
We didn't know, and it's real.
The question is, was it actually evolution, or did it already exist and just no?
Well, that was what Darkon was saying. It was, either evolution or a discovery of a trait of evolution that no one had noticed up until now.
I'm using brain cells here on a certain thing.
That's fine. You do what you need to do. But yeah, as you're saying, does gravity exist? Yes, no. Of course it does. Is gravity of the constant of, what is it, 9.81, 9.82? What's Earth's gravity? No, that's for Earth. That's Earth's number. And if you do anything to the formula or move anything anywhere ever, then the number's different. So in that sense, gravity's not an absolute. The number will change based on circumstance and what's happening. So, welcome to English language and wordsmithing. Where are you going with on there is no absolutes? In macro physics, there's no absolutes because there's too many moving things. There's too many steps. Your number will be different based on circumstance. That's not that bad. That's actually really nice. Oh, it's only the one side, not the sleeve. Oh, that is really nice. Macro physics specification. That is because I didn't say it until you brought it up. So thank you. Yeah. We should have specified macro physics from the get-go. That is the big distinction. So, yeah, thank you.
So there's our fluffy
Rob.
boy.
I tried. What about having someone's eye color change? My eyes change color
That's a really
constantly.
easy thing to
That's
accomplish.
my brother. My
We
brother does that same thing.
Hell, we can accomplish that now.
Oh no, my brother's eye color to the perceivable, to the regular perceivable person, his eye color in the morning is different from his eye color in the evening. That's my brother's life.
The common coloration that is common to shift, as you're describing, are called hazel eyes, and I as well was born with hazel eyes. Some days the eyes are greener versus some days being more blue. The alternative is that sometimes they shift between brown and grays and blues and greens primarily. Less
No,
brown,
blue and green.
that's
Yeah,
not
blue
very
and green was my.
commonly-
I'm sorry, I got excited. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say it does not very commonly happen with brown eyes. In fact, I don't think that I've much taken note of hazel eyes shifting between brown and another color, but more so commonly between blue and green, blue and gray, green and gray, etc.
Yep. As well as your egg. Well, yeah. Welcome to melatonin and chemistry and biology. And we are made of a lot of different parts, and a lot of those parts aren't even us.
Yep.
I have to keep reminding Anthony every time this gets brought up. We already know everything about the human genotype, phenotype. We basically know everything about people, but that's not the end of the story. The vast, it's weird to say, but a good part, if not a majority part of you is not you. It's other things that are making up you, that are tagging along. And that is very real and does affect what you are. What did good old mama say? Your stomach's a garden, you decide what to plant in it. Your stomach is different every single hour. So, yeah. Speaking of, so after I told you about telling her about telling you about the rhubarb pie, and yes, there was that many steps.
Yes, you did.
She's on the rhubarb explosion now. She's making rhubarb strawberry everything, jam. You know how you make banana bread? She's making rhubarb strawberry bread.
Is your mother trying to taunt me?
Pretty much.
Into Canada.
Yes.
Because
she will feed it all to you. She'll save it for you. If there's one thing, then Doger can testify if he's still here. If there's one thing that you have to be prepared for, you show up in this house. is that you got to be prepared to eat. You are going to be fed whether you want to be or not.
Alright, so, like, real deal, ever since I was very young, I have always had the ability to pack away food that a girl my size absolutely makes no fucking sense that I am capable of doing. So much so.
So you're an
that
anime pro tag.
not only, well, right, yeah. So much so that not even myself, but my friends have come up with a name for the fat girl who lives inside of me, and her name is Greta.
Does Greta have the rumblings?
Yes.
That's good.
Well, there's our fluffy boy, our tech genius, Macro Davinci.
In the future, what will be? What? So in the future, what will be last week's guy's secret ability? Is he the son of the emperor? Who was last week's guy?
Haseo
And what is
was
this?
last week's guy.
Haseo? Are you asking what is Haseo's superpower later in the story?
He
as
can
much
cook.
as much as that's neato, a lot of this story is, while like very far into the future science based, it's based on real things that are at least plausible. So Haseo's a guy, and his superpower is that he's a guy that was a regular guy that grew up the regular guy way, which allows him to have the perspective of the regular guy. That is quite blatantly his superpower in relation to the rest of the group.
Yep.
What's the bit with him? They always seem normal until they get a power-up. No, his power-up is that he realizes that he can actually help these people, and he starts doing so. Welcome to the real-life power-up that is, yes, you do matter. Yes, you can change the outcome. Apply yourself.
Yep.
It is the most real power-up in the world, and every single person on the planet can do it, including you in real life.
So, with that said, I want to thank you all for joining us and making the fluffiest boy. So
no, his superpower is making sweets and cakes and everything adorable. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
And I want to thank you all for joining us tonight, and make sure to join us next week when we create Lisette Solvig. Do you guys have any final things you want to say before we wrap it up?
I'll repeat. Somebody needs to appreciate my Birkenstocks.
Look at them Crocs.
Birkencrocs.
Oh, her blood pressure is rising.
Nah, fam. Homegirl's too tired for blood pressure to rise. It can stay down for now.
Yeah. Alright, well guys, thank you very much for joining us. It's late. We got work in the morning. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.